Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Poetalk. This week we have a fill-in for Polab. Polab's been very stressed from the Polab website. Uh, there's a Reddit post about it, and if you want to read about it, go to the Reddit post. Drama, shame, all the fun stuff. But either way, we're not going to talk about that here. So we have Dicey filling in. He was a
Howdy.
dude from last week. One of our, he's going to pretty much be filling in whenever Polab can't make it, as long as he can make it. If not, we'll go on with just me. You know, it is what it is. But, oh, we have guests. Do you guys see them? Somayd and GamerForLife. These guys are another members of the Pee-wee community. Somayd's a streamer. GamerForLife's a YouTube content creator. Got the best of both worlds here. So, welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me.
You know what I should have done is put, like, little notifications over your guys' thing that, like, pops up whenever you talk. But either way. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about, our first overall subject, is about Beta 3.0. We have some information that we've got posted on the forums. We've got like some dot changes. Crab boss was revealed. We've got some improvements to Cyclone. We got this sneaky pushback from GGG, and we've got some. We're going to try to do some balance predictions, just kind of throw stuff out there what we think might happen. The first one we're going to talk about is the dot changes. It's a pretty big page about it I've got listed up here on the screen.
Right, so looks like they made it so that only the base damage will scale the ignite, poison, those types of secondary damages. But they also have some interesting things where there's also going to be like a form of double dipping still, and like fire damage will scale the initial hit and the back end ignite. So it's going to be dramatically toned down in that sense. What was your take from it, Paleo?
From what I was reading, I kind of like it. It makes a lot more sense in a way. In one hand, it makes sense the way it is now, but obviously it's busted. There's a lot of things, just double dipping in general. That's still going to be double dipping. I mean, fire damage is going to increase both the initial hit and the ignite. Same thing with poison. It's going to increase the initial hit and the poison damage. So double dipping's still not going away. They're just nerfing it / changing it to more of a baseline number. So it's probably going to be easier to calculate as a whole of how much damage you'll actually have, because since the dot's based off the flat damage that the skill has, it's going to be the same damage no matter what, and then you kind of just add all the improved damage that you have for it. So I don't know, I like it. I actually think it's pretty cool. There's a new keystone, which I'm guessing is going to have something to do with this. We'll see, I guess.
Summit, what did you take away from it when you looked at it?
Oh, it was for me. All right. So
yes.
when I first read it, so I was it was expected. So these changes were expected because like those damage over time builds. So ignites has been less popular this league, but
Yeah.
Or poison, you can reach like insane amount of DPS. With like on a budget really, and it's really, I think it's unbalanced and not really healthy for the game. But so the first read of this changes, I was happily surprised, but like just opened up more questions than actual answers, because like what is a keystone? What are they going to change? They're not going to make this change and not change anything else on the side. So we're just it's just guesses, just a guess game at this point. But yeah, I think it was a needed balance change.
Looks like they did this change because they want to level the field between dot builds and non-dot builds. But I would be happy if instead of nerfing the dots, they could have buffed the non-dots, in my opinion.
I think it's easier to just target something that's wrong, other than just leveling everything else on the side. Because if you
nerf
just
wrong, it is just a little bit too overpowered.
Yeah.
Right, they've got to bring it down a bit. I mean, if you think about it this way, that builds aren't. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, basically.
One thing that GGG was saying is that they have to constantly, with double dipping as in the current state, they have to constantly keep it in mind whenever they release things, and it makes design a lot more difficult with keeping that in mind. So maybe by, as Bill was saying, simplifying, then that makes it so they can release Yeah, unique's in a better state, a more
Yeah,
balanced
on that
state.
point, well, definitely. They should have thought it before, though.
Well, I mean, they've released like Hawa, and that's not dot scaling by any means. And that has sometimes more damage than the dot builds. I mean, you've got Brutus Lead Sprinkler, which again, it does have Ignite, but it's not like the primary source of the damage. It's just the balls for like Molten Strike or whatever, Sunder, whatever you want to use. So there are definitely skills that are up to the level of Ignites and dots, but bringing everything to an even playing field and then just being able to choose what build, like we'll say they almost all work good, right? But now you'll be able to choose the build that's fun instead of choosing the build that's busted. So, I don't know, I like it.
Like in the first place,
And they're buffing bleed.
Yeah, bleed. That's a good thing. But I wanted to say, yeah, what I like the most about the game is just having a sense of progression. So you have a strong base build, like a strong idea, and just push it and reach like good numbers of DPS, which is the case like for Molten Strike. Molten Strike is like, I've been playing around with my Pathfinder. It's like extremely strong. I think I reach up to 5 to 6 million DPS on Shaper. So with all the reductions Shaper has, like so no shock, no nothing, and it's just Molten Strike that's extremely strong with everything that's added. But I like the fact that if you put enough money and time and thought into your skill tree and gear, then you can reach those absurd amount of DPS. I feel like it's deserved, but for Poison, I feel like there's like this whole ramp up of damage that doesn't cost much, but doesn't really feel good to play, to me at least, unless it's like on very specific situations, like boss killing, like static bosses where you can put your Wizard Totem, your whole lightning trap, stuff like that.
Well, doesn't cost much is a very relative term, because for some people 10 Exalted is unreachable.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. It's just I can play so much that I kind of lost track of what it feels like to be somebody who cannot play that much and invest that much time in the game.
Yeah, I kind of feel like 10x is easily obtainable nowadays, but you just have to know how. And there's plenty of guides out there that, can show you.
Yeah.
The trend I see when I look at this is GGG's been, since 2013, making the game simpler. Trying to take complex mechanics and put them into a more digestible format. My main thing I think of is snapshotting. Now, snapshotting back on a summoner, when that was a thing, my God, the complexity that it added was almost exponentially more complex than it is now. I
remember talking to Ghazi about the snapshotting thing.
In that direction.
I asked him, I'm like, do you ever switch gems for boss killing? And he was like, after playing snapshotting summoners for the past however many years when it was available, he's like, I'm never gem swapping ever again.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
And like you'd always have to like carry extra Val skills with you and like swap them in for Uber Zeres and stuff like. Oh my God, it was. They're just making the game simpler. Now that might be a good or bad thing, depends on your take on that, but they are making it simple.
Yeah.
I think the community plays a huge part of that, make the game simpler. Like there are so many different dynamics at play here. Let's say you're a content creator on YouTube and want to make your channel or your Twitch channel grow. You need something, you need something different. It's not going to be like highlights. PoE is not really a community to have like those funny highlights YouTube channel. So you just give like information, and information is like a way of getting a new following or a bigger following. So people just search for it and just post it, and so people have like way easier access to information, I think, than like we had 3 years ago, and like, makes the game easier. So we do as well make the game easier, just explaining stuff to newer player. In the past, players were not that knowledgeable when the game started. We had to figure everything out.
Right.
It seems like the forum also has a lack of information now, but now it's more readily available on YouTube, so that people have like strayed away from the forums and went more to the YouTube content.
Yeah, but in the realm of action RPG, I believe Path of Exile is the most complex of them all. I've never seen a game with this amount of skills, of interaction, of mechanics, of end game. I mean, this is absolutely the most complex action RPG that at least I know, and I've played a lot.
Grim Dawn was okay. They had
I'm
like
playing
they had the
Grim Dawn.
constellation. The constellation tree was interesting to like min max it. Like you could like kind of like in, well, you can't do this in Path of Exile, but in like in the picture, like if you've ever played Grim Dawn, like the passive skill tree, instead of it being a passive skill tree, there's a constellation. You can have like 50 of them, and you can slot in constellations, but each constellation requires a certain color of whatever constellation you have. I think there's like 5 or 6. And the cool things about it is when you complete a constellation, you get more of that constellation's color, but you want to get to the outer edge of the constellation map, which is kind of like the keystones, and you actually can like spec into one, get to the outer edge. The outer edge gives you constellation points. Then you can spec out of a different one and go a different way. So yeah, there's definitely min-maxing in that way. But Path of Exile is by far the most complex I've ever played.
Absolutely,
So,
I'm playing Grim Dawn, and I'm quite advanced because unfortunately my internet connection is very, very slow. So it takes 16, 20 hours to upload a video sometimes. So I can't actually, if I have 1 hour of free time, I can't go to Path of Exile because it would be suicide. So I go to Grim Dawn and play there. It's a much simpler game, even though it is quite fun and very good and still in development as well.
It's a lot slower too.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, it did say that they have been making it simpler, and they have been certain obscure mechanics, trying to make them more digestible. They have been adding more and more and more mechanics on top of mechanics. I mean, think about all the temporary leagues stacking upon each other, being introduced, and now a new player comes in, and it's like, what's Nemesis? What's Breach? What the hell's that Essence thing over there? Why is there a strong box? Like,
yeah, a new player. Yeah, a new player could get really overwhelmed.
Right. And I wonder how GGG plans to deal with that, because they can't keep that up indefinitely. Like, too many mods are going to stack, and then nobody's going to know anything about all the mods that exist after, leagues just keep stacking. I mean, I don't know much about Talisman type of thing, and I played
don't
a
know
lot.
shit about Talisman.
Like, I was trying to make Great Wolves, and I'm like,
was good.
what's the item levels I need? Oh my god. Like, calculators, and oh my god.
Talisman was so bad. Like, the only thing I like about this league is the fact that it was the league where
There's a league where what? You cut out.
Vintars got introduced.
Yeah.
The dreaded flask Vintars, and it was like
the Volpact version.
It's so fucking OP, dude. It's so busted.
Yeah, I like the reaction when people in my compilation, when people get the Victor in the Ancient Choir. They always go mental when that happens.
Yeah, it's like
Victor,
an insane amount.
Victor. Anunnaki.
The one thing that I do like about the change that they're having is I don't actually know how much of a nerf it's going to be for a lot of these builds, because when you're reading over this is only like the first part of the development manifesto. There's still going to be more information that's going to release sometime next week, I think is what they said. Which for GGG that might actually mean next month, but we'll see. They state that they've had to reduce the power of core passives and common items that are effective for Ignite and Poison builds to the point where they're not worth the investment for other builds. So I'm wondering what they're going to change once they, I almost want to say dumb down the Ignite, Poison mechanic and Bleed. I'm wondering what core passives and common items that they're going to buff to be worthwhile again. And then I'm wondering if they're going to be able to control that power level. Because a lot of times they don't know how to balance. We all know that, or they don't do it extremely well.
Incredibly hard to balance. I mean, look at
it is. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not really knocking them.
Like, I wouldn't want to be the one responsible for it.
Nope. I think they said they had a team of nine. I was reading like in one of the developer interviews. Question whatever the quality assurance. There's like 9 members of it. So 9 people that have been testing to make sure everything works good. I mean,
here is my prediction. Some very big PoE player is going to make a build so overpowered that they're going to nerf that mechanic as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's what's going to happen.
That's what the beta's for.
Somebody ran the numbers. I read a thread on Reddit about that. He ran the number as like they currently are. And like the damage reduction is absolutely insane. Like we're talking maybe 10 times less damage or 6, 8 times. I don't remember exactly. But to me, like if I have one prediction to make is they've also been reworking immunities as well, because from what I understand now, we're going to have to invest specifically in like purely poison. So all the damage before are pretty much going to be ass, but the poison is going to be huge. And nobody's going to invest that much in a build that is going to be even harder to kill Hydra, for example. If you don't have like just the chaos or physical part of it, or just I think immunities might be in the rework. For me, this is my take on it. This is my prediction. I think they might just.
We're gonna get to that, the predictions, but
yeah, I'm sorry about that. But.
It looks like they're gonna change some things with the bleeding, some base damages on the thing, but really we need the second manifesto. That's what I'm looking forward to be able to make some.
I don't remember reading this the first time I read it through, but they said to compensate for the damage loss of the removal of double dipping, the damage of poisons, ignites, and bleedings have been doubled. Increases to these effects on the passive trees have been boosted as well, and additional poison and bleeding bonuses have been added to some weapon clusters on top of their existing stats.
Right.
I kind of feel like when they do this, they're just like, we're going to remove double dipping and then increase all the damages. It's like, wait.
Well, they have to compensate for it. If they just got rid of double dipping, it would be worthless.
But there's still double dipping that's existing. It's just not as extreme.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more control.
I'm guessing they probably removed double dipping, tested it, and they're like, "Oh, this is terrible." We'll see. We'll see in beta, man.
What else did they release? Oh yeah, we got the crab boss that was revealed. Now that thing was. You want to move on to that, Paleo?
Yeah.
Pull that up. That thing, it's interesting to me. Is like, man, how far the graphics have come in this game from back in the day to looking at that water that was in that crab boss fight.
Yeah, but that crab boss fight looks more like an eye candy more than an actual boss fight. It looks good. That's the point. It looks good, and it looks like that's the only purpose that serves that boss fight. The water wall, fantastic, awesome. But in terms of a boss fight, it doesn't look like it offers much.
It looks like an MMO to me.
Yeah, I had the same feel as well. And
I'm not saying that I hate it.
That thing looks like it'd be really nasty on a summoner.
Yeah, because of the confined space.
Yeah, and the damage that it does in that AoE.
The cleave.
What do you mean? They're just gonna hold down right click and SRS is gonna melt this boss and phases won't even matter.
Yeah, but you have to move around because it's gonna.
The fight's gonna last 10 seconds. It don't matter.
Well, it depends. We don't see anything. We don't see what level is this guy. We don't see his health.
Well, it's Act 6, so it's a leveling boss.
Act 6, yeah.
It's not like this is an endgame boss. This is Act 6, so this is like the Malachi of 4, or this is like the Malachi of Act 6 essentially, like the endgame boss or end act boss.
Malachi killed a lot of people.
Oh, I'm not saying this won't kill anybody. I mean, in this video, I don't like how GGG doesn't turn on the fucking HP numbers.
Yeah, same.
It's so annoying because like this guy's getting one shot by nearly every attack. But I mean, if you're energy shield, I'm betting it doesn't. Well, depending on what happens, I'm betting it doesn't do anything right now.
Energy shield takes tons of hits.
Yeah. Well, in this phase here, this phase is almost completely useless unless it just shows the cool water effect, but that phase is harmless.
It's harmless if you play if you're safe in melee range, but bank on the range, then you have to Kai stuff, because when there is the kind of the siren out of the shell, you have those lightning lightning things. Just you have to dodge while dodging different stuff. I think it's pretty interesting. It's just a leveling, just part of the storyline. So it's not going to be I'm not going to invest too much. It's not like an endgame boss or stuff like that.
But remember, that could very well be a map boss.
Oh, it will be. I think it will be. Yeah.
So do you think they're going to release new maps?
Oh, definitely.
I hope so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I hope so.
They're going to have so much content. I hope there's new maps.
Yeah. Because we're also hyped about the new leveling in the. But once you're a kind of a seasoned player, the whole leveling shouldn't take more than 6 hours, 7 hours, depending if you have leveling gear or not. Yeah.
Sorry.
And so I I feel like they're not going to spend some development time on a boss of the storyline and not reuse it after. Grinding Gear Game is well known to like recycle stuff they make. For example, every mechanic they make, it's like tons of work hour from developers. And they're not going to throw it out. They're just going to throw it in the trash because it's something they made and they want to keep it in game. So that's why they keep on keeping all those mechanics in game. And they're going to keep this boss, maybe make new maps. It's going to be the same for every boss, I think.
Like during this phase, the water phase, as the water walls come in, and then there's like the frost lightning bolt things that come down, and the sirens out of the crab. I'm wondering, is the boss immune at that point, or is that a vulnerable state? Because he doesn't attack at all during that phase. So my guess is it's immune. And if it's immune, that's kind of annoying because there's no leeching, there's none of that shenanigans.
There's a ton of ads though.
When the walls are up close?
Not during the phase, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have no source of leech, and you're running around, and you have no pots, and there's waves coming in from all of the directions. There's all the crap happening. I don't know. It just seems kind of sketch.
More or less like Daresso.
Right.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the end boss of Strand, just to make people like not be able to farm it so fast.
Yeah, just
if this boss
barrage
really takes that long, like.
Yeah, that kind of nerfing.
Apparently, there's my mic cutting off sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna change my settings on Discord real quick.
All right.
Move to arrow.
Should be better now. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, what Blasting Cap said in chat, this boss fight is literally the same as the most boss hunt. Yeah, this is like phases with adds, immunity phases, and that's it. And it's more like technical. See how far GG went with. It's a beautiful game. It looks pretty, I think.
Yeah. No FPS drops from what we can tell. I mean, it looks fluid throughout.
They're testing on like supercomputers.
I think they said they have a wide assortment of test PCs. They said they don't have top of the line. Like they're testing things on every type of machine you can think of, probably. At least a good variety of the most popular. I'm sure they have potato PCs they test this stuff on as well.
I also saw the improvements that they made to the character models in Act 1. Those look pretty amazing.
Yeah, they look pretty good. They look much better. More polished.
I was surprised how bad the ones.
Yeah, I mean, you never really like.
I was like, they really look that bad?
Yeah, I mean, this was recorded on Xbox One.
But even on very high-end PCs, like let's say the top PoE streamers that definitely have a $3,000 computer, even on them, sometimes the game freezes when there's too much things on the screen. I mean, you've seen Zaran dying because of that. And in my compilation, I see many people dying because of 1 frame per 5 seconds.
Yeah, in like real heavy like breaches and stuff, they can definitely crawl in like double beyond breach. Like it I don't know how Xbox gonna handle that. There's no way.
Exactly. That's
party play in Xbox, dude. Party play in Xbox. How are they gonna handle that?
They have to fix shit.
Beyond
like right now, you can't even be in a Guardians party as a summoner. Just 2 people. It's bad. So on Xbox, there's no way.
Let's bring back the sync.
There's something about like those NPC models that have been reworked, like Bestel. So it's the dude like who gives quest points. He always looks like he's back from the workout, and he wants to look super swole. I don't know if you guys have that sometimes. Like you have like he's both his arm.
It looks like he's being like impaled by this pole.
As well, yeah.
they like specifically moved the pole and they like put his legs closer together, so it doesn't look like he's being wrecked by the pole.
Oh, you're actually right. Oh Jesus Christ! I never saw that.
It's like straight up the middle. I mean, it's. Oh, he also got a sandal on his other shoe. Oh my God, they gave him another shoe. That's so nice of them. They gave him a sandal on the right leg.
Maybe he got money now.
He got a bow as well. fancy.
He's just leeching off Exile's just working for him.
That's
Like, hey, dude,
true.
can you pick that up for me? And everybody does it. Everybody listens. Nobody just, rebels.
He gives the good rewards.
Yeah, I'm French. I have to riot. This is my thing.
But yeah, the boss seems cool, and like we've also seen some of the gods from the Pantheon system, like where you get the bonuses, and those look cool. Like those fights, they have a lot of stuff going on, and it seems pretty interesting. Like the fights are gonna hopefully be more mechanically involved, with double dipping being taken away. Kind of hope to actually be able to showcase my MMO skills by not standing in fire.
All I could think of was, oh god, I'm playing predictive. This is all I could think of.
Oh,
All those projectiles to
I
dodge.
never play predictive.
I don't have the choice.
Gotta get that fiber ran to your house.
No, I can't. It would just cost me like 40,000 euros. It's just impossible. So I have to move. I actually have to move if I want to keep streaming. And it's comfy here. It's just shit internet.
Yeah, you want to talk about shit internet? I
What is this?
I pay 34 euros a month to have a 0.8 upload speed and 8 download speed.
That's same. I actually pay like 36. It's a scam, dude. It's bad.
Shit.
I pay $50 a month for 50 down, or what is this? 50 down and 8 up.
That's
I wish I
expensive.
could. No, it's not.
$50 for or $50 for 50 down and 8 up. That's good.
Yeah, it seems expensive to me. I
It's
don't
only
know.
$15 more for yours, and I get like 8 times or 10 times your upload
Yeah.
speeds.
Mine is just straight garbage. But like because there is no like fiber. I think in France there are lows. ISPs are they have to provide the best physical offer they can to a customer. So I cannot pay more to have more internet. It's just like a physical limitation. There is no fiber in this fucking castle. But I think for 20 euros with one ISP, a very good one as well. For 20 euros, you have like 100 up, 100 down in big cities.
Yeah,
I
big
guess it's
cities.
just big cities. That's the issue.
Yeah, I can go to Milan or Rome, and yes, have the high speed, but I live in the top north of Italy, in the middle of mountains, so there's no way that can happen.
All right. So I think we've talked about branking enough and internet connections. Let's carry on to our next subject, which is going to be improvements to Cyclone. And when I saw this, it was kind of a sigh of relief because I played Cyclone in Diablo 3, and it felt pretty good. And I think in Diablo 2, it's been a while, but I think it was even still better than Path of Exile. I could be wrong, but pretty sure, Path of Exile stopping at every little rock and whatnot sucked. So, but yeah, seeing how if you guys aren't familiar with Cyclone, which I'm sure you guys are, but when you Cyclone, anything you hit that stops your character, you just stop cycloning completely. It's almost like you're getting stunned. And no matter how you have to move your character completely opposite direction of whatever you're cycloning against, or else you'll die because you're not doing anything. Like any rock, pebble, stick, sand grain that isn't placed correctly, it'll just stop you. So the improvements that they've made are so that it uses pathing to route cyclones. So when you hold down right click, it'll actually path around objects automatically, and actually can like use it in areas that aren't wide open. You can like use it during whatever you want. It's glorious. What do you guys excited, hyped?
Absolutely amazing. I remember when we were using Cyclone, when there was still the sync, it was a pain, and well, I'm not telling you where, but my thinking was, this skill is so good, yet so much potential, but it screws up with the sync, so I abandoned it. Then once the sync was fixed, I tried it again, but I had that problem. I was constantly trying to click, not to stop and die, because my only source of survivability was the leeching. And then I abandoned it. But right now, the only, let's say, bad thing about it looks like the reach.
You know what I actually just thought about? What seems interesting about this. A lot of people and this is correct for now, they still have stun immunity, even though they're using Cyclone. And during Cyclone, CC and stun is you're immune during Cyclone, but that's not dependable because like I said before, anything you hit stops you. So you'll get stopped, then you'll get stunned, and then you're dead. Now you're completely immune as long as you're holding down right click. I'd actually would say go as far as to say that you probably don't need immunities anymore for that kind of stuff.
You don't.
Playing on hardcore, I mean, it's still a little. It's still not as 100% reliable as like removing a freeze. So like if you open a box and it's freeze, Cyclone ain't gonna save you. So that's still risky.
It's so easy to have an anti-freeze.
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to just have an anti-freeze flask. It's trivial.
Yeah, the thing is like carrying a freeze flask. There's no unique flask except for Kiara's that gives like freeze immunity. And there's so many good unique flasks that you want all this power. You don't want to think about like immunities, about status elements. So also like concerning Cyclone, it's a very nice change. I'm kind of pissed that those changes take place after the AoE got gutted. I think now Cyclone, the way you play it is with tons of move speed, so Raider pretty much. I used to love Cyclone with the Slayer, or it was like max AoE. It was pretty good, like good investment, good AoE. But now I feel like you need like tons of move speed, and this pathfinding thing that has been changed might make Raider actually very, very enjoyable because you move super quick, and being stopped every pebble on the ground was pretty fucking annoying. So now might make the Cyclone very, very comfortable to play, and yeah, like permanent stun immunity is pretty good.
Yeah, but as I said, the AoE has been nerfed, and that is a problem for me at least.
Making a bunch of changes to it, Cyclone. They like increased the AoE to it, and then they changed the AoE of all skills, like the AoE changes, and now the pathing changes. I mean, it's constantly getting attention from GGG.
Yeah.
Opposed to some skills that it's like they haven't been touched in years. It feels like.
Well, I'm just looking at when this was released in early 2013, and it's 4 years later, and they're just now fixing the pathing. That's kind of blows my mind, actually. 4 years, and they're just now fixing the pathing. Have they done anything else to this skill prior to, besides damages?
I think the AoE has been changed in time.
That was the most recent, yeah. So,
yeah, nothing. Yeah. Version history, nothing. Nothing's been done to the skill for 4 years, and they're just now fixing the pathing. That's kind of insane.
Well, they have, what, 120 other skills?
Yeah, but this is fairly popular. It's not elemental hit, let's be real.
I feel like this is kind of the way grinding gear game works. Like they release something, a change, and we don't really see where they're going with it. Like the water change, for example. It was very sudden. One day I just saw it pop on Reddit. Hey, we changed the water texture. Like, oh, it's amazing. And now seeing the video about like the crab boss, we see all the new amazing water texture coming at play. And now we understand it's like months after. It's like they always work. They always prioritize stuff. Because I think like in the last interview with Christensen, he said that most of the staff was working on development, and that delivered like insane man hours, like manpower or women power. I don't know, like both. I guess.
Oh god, we went all.
This is 2K17. It's okay to assume genders now.
It's okay to assume genders. All right. So Exile, the developers, I think just they save money a lot. I think they're trying to save money a lot, and they work like by steps. So we don't really see the bigger picture, but they know exactly what's going on, but we don't. So we just work with what we have at the moment.
Imagine how fast GGG as a company has grown.
It's insane.
Oh, it's been, the last year has been massive. It's been explosive.
Yeah.
And on the business
Morgan's house to working in the basement or the garage.
Me in my garage.
Almost like Google.
New pets. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And by the way, apparently Cyclone is only stun and knockback, not freeze. I thought it was freeze too.
Oh, no, it's not. Oh yeah.
No, it's not
freeze.
freeze.
No. It's just
it's never been freeze.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I played the skill once, so I went to the wiki and confirmed it's only stun and knockback.
I love Cyclone. It's just single target is pretty garbage, but I love Cyclone.
How about the reverse knockback with Cyclone?
Reverse knockback. I used to play Ghost Busting. I used to Ghost Bust back in Parendus and the beginning of Prophecy, I think. So I did a lot of Cyclone. Oh yeah, I have a few like old screenshots. I had like the worst possible resolution. It was like RuneScape, even worse than RuneScape. But hey, I was rich.
The potato settings.
Exactly.
While there, Cyclone, it didn't need a buff because if you did buff it, the community would have been like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because it was already one of the fastest builds, Discharger.
Yeah.
Back when that was the thing, for the shield charge and all the changes to discharge, and yeah, that used to be big. It was big for a long time.
Yeah, one thing in all the, let's say, big changes in the game mechanics, one thing that, let's say, saddened me was the change on the custom crit, actually.
It killed so many builds.
I so love to see the massive amount of procs on that. Having a 95% crit chance and just spam anything that was attached to it. I mean, dude, it was more fun than functionality sometimes, but it was good. Too bad.
Right. So speaking a little bit about development, we saw that about a week ago that GGG had delayed the beta a little bit a little silently.
That was
I was gonna
sneaky.
say. Yeah, they pushed it back. I don't know how long did they delay it.
A month or two?
A month.
It wasn't even like a week. It was just like,
A month.
oh,
yeah.
the end of April, you guys will be able to be in beta. And just kidding. Now it's end of May or June.
But that was actually predictable, as I don't remember
I don't
the
think
last
so.
time someone said it's gonna be ready for this time, and it was actually ready for that time.
But it's a beta. It's not supposed to be ready. It's supposed to be able to playtest. That's all they need is just
Exactly.
ability. Just
The
even if they
beta
only
has to be
released Act
ready.
6, can we playtest Act 6? Is Act 6 done? Because if Act 6
Yeah,
isn't
but
done, there's a bigger problem. They bit off too much than they can chew.
Chris
if-
is gonna
if it's
take
not
his
done.
sweet time with this one. This is the biggest release of his life. He's done some big releases before, but this one's gonna be the one that he's
Yeah,
remembered
because
for.
it's a more revolutionary one, because he wants to change the concept of 3 rounds.
And he's
Only
in a
one
position-
run through all the accent.
But it's beta. It doesn't need to be finished or polished. It could look like shit as long as we get the concept
okay.
of things.
Okay, but there is no point on playing the beta when everything bugs out.
Yeah.
I
mean,
think
if they're still in alpha, and they're not ready for beta, just because the time here hits doesn't mean it's time to ship beta. Still in alpha.
but if you guys were around like the 2.0 beta, it was an absolute shit show, and it was like really small compared to like this beta to come. And also like there is something. It's like most people are gonna play this new version, like this beta version. They're not gonna play to help and test the game. They're gonna play because they want to do something different. So I don't know exactly how the beta is gonna be gated. What's gonna be the thing to be eligible? But most people are gonna maybe pay for a key, play the game because it's new, and not give any feedback. And they know this very well, I think. So I think they want something polished. So the work at the end made by the community is like minimal. So they rely like the least amount possible on the community for feedback and more like on the in intern. That's probably why they go. Like 2.0 was really bad. Like the beta was bad. I quit the game for 4 months after this beta. It was really shit.
As far as like who's gonna get beta, I have speculation. It is speculation, but I have been told that most likely it's gonna go to high-end streamers for the first wave. If you have 500 plus view count, and that's gonna be like the first wave. And I don't know how long waves last for the beta, but this is what I've been told. Now, whether it's true or not, whatever. But they did say that there is option to buy in, which I kind of feel. I mean, that's fine. I guess it is a free-to-play game, but I mean, I've spent at least $1,300 to $1,500 plus in the past year. If I don't get beta, I mean, I don't feel like I'm necessarily entitled, but I kind of do. I don't know. It is what it is. I know that there's other people that have played way longer, and they've probably spent more money. So, obviously, I'm just on a soapbox, I guess, but...
But sometimes people forget that beta doesn't mean you play the game before the other does.
Well, what
Beta
I'm saying
means,
is if I don't get
you
beta
play-
as a content
you
creator, I'm
play-
screwed.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. But beta doesn't mean it shouldn't be a way for anybody to just make more views. It should be just you play the game, you give your opinion. That's why it's called beta.
Yep. But like, think about this. Like all the streamers, let's say Gamer or we have like small view counts compared to like the big name, right? And who are you gonna watch? Like you're on Twitch. Who are you gonna watch? Somebody's gonna play the new content and is gonna explore and find the new things, or somebody who plays like the same content over and over because he doesn't have access to it yet. I think it should be more like people willing to help and to give feedback rather than just
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely,
Arbitrary.
because I remember when Diablo 3, they gave a key to Kriparian. He played like 2 or 3 hours and then forgot about it, and people got so bloody mad about it. Because
Nice
they thought,
utilization of your key, bro.
exactly, that's a waste of a key. That people got mental with him. He was laughing, it was with his usual smile. And he
Smug
said,
smile.
nah, it's not for me. I'm not gonna play with it anymore. And people get really, really frustrated. I mean, I was waiting for the key. For Diablo 3, I opt in on everything and never got crap. And then, well, let's not talk about how disappointing Diablo 3 was, but let's go back to Path of Exile. Anyway, the point of the beta, in my opinion, and I don't think it's only my opinion, is that it's not something that is supposed to be enjoyable. Meaning, it's not the game. It's the testing of the game. So people, they say, it's buggy. Well, no shit. It's supposed to be. I mean,
tell us about the bugs and they'll fix it, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of it.
I can't play. Look, it's bugged. Yeah, thank you.
I think
Thank
they're
you
more
for
worried
telling.
about. I think they're more worried about like balance changes because we all know Reddit, and people like to say you go on the stream and you see something that busted because there is a streamer or somebody who has access to the beta who's like, hey, I found this. This is absolutely busted. So there's gonna like in 1 hour, there's gonna have a thread on Reddit, and everybody's gonna take this information at face value, and everybody's gonna flame Grinding Gear Game saying, oh, they made those changes, but they didn't change Scion, and everybody's gonna like grab a pitchfork and just rush on Grinding Gear Game. And this has been like happening like religiously since like the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
I don't think that's unique to GGG in any way, shape, or form. I go to
that's just
other communities, and it's the same thing, except there, the community has a leg to stand on, because usually, like, I hang out in H1Z1 community, and that dev team is terrible. But you come to GGG, and it's like, okay, this is a real dev team. They're the same complaints. They kind of feel like you're nitpicking when you make them against a company that obviously cares about their product.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course they care. Like it's their livelihood. They know like there's maybe like Diablo 4, in the corner, maybe in like 1 year, couple years, and everybody's gonna play it. So they have to make like a bang now. They cannot miss this one.
Hold on, man. About everybody's gonna play Diablo 4. Diablo 3 has been a colossal disappointment.
Just try it out. Just try it out. Who's gonna try it here? Like,
okay, but come on. Diablo 1, excellent. Diablo 2, fantastic. Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, absolutely amazing. Diablo 3, a third on top of vomit.
I actually really enjoyed Diablo 3 when it first came out. I've played it for well over 1,000 hours.
Anyway.
I literally looked at it when it came out and said no. I was going to buy it too at a pre-order, and I was like, no. No.
I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Then they started making changes. They started making it way easier. They started making it so it's just vomiting gear all over the place. And then the biggest straw that broke my back when I stopped playing is the fucking everything's soulbound. This isn't fucking MMOs where everything's got to be soulbound. Fuck this. This is not the game that I played from the get-go. So it just got progressively worse as like past relaunch of Diablo 3.
Because when you don't have trading, you don't have crafting, you don't have all those things, it's amazing. I love this in games.
Yeah, the quote-unquote crafting in Diablo is just like a chaos orb. That's like all they got, pretty much. Like crafting just random items that just, it's pretty much like you're chaosing an item. You're just crafting random shit.
I mean, I purchased Diablo 3, I played Diablo 3, but it's uncomparable with Path of Exile, except for graphics maybe. everything else is, I mean, it's on a different plane. It just have the name Diablo. If it was called, I don't know, Somayd MMO,
It would
people
be
would
acceptable.
puke. People would puke on it. I mean, seriously.
Because Somayd MMO?
I don't know if Samya made Diablo, I think that'd be pretty impressive if he was the only one.
No. If it was called like that, not if he did it.
Oh.
Dude, everybody, like, my name, like, brings all the boys to the yard. You
Yeah.
don't know.
Well,
I've never played Diablo. I cannot really talk my mind about this game. So
But yeah, so I'm excited for beta.
same.
One thing I
But-
think that's going to happen, though, is that Legacy League's going to come to an end, and I bet we're going to get something like a 1-month Dark Shrine League again.
I
We're
love
gonna
Dark
get
Shrine.
some filler content.
Yeah.
Maybe a 2-week thing for like an armor set again, like we had in Bloodlines. There's going to be some filler content between like this league and 3.0. There has to be.
But this league kind of feel like a
Timeline just
filler,
doesn't
though.
make sense anymore.
This league to me feels like a filler. You know, like, okay, let's say you haven't gotten any food in like the past 24 hours, and you think about all that you can do, and you think about like the dirtiest, fattest food you can make. So you put like everything, bacon, cheese, meat, on a pizza with burgers, and this is exactly what they've done with Legacy, in my opinion. So it's kind of a filler, like go over the top, access to Legacy Vintar, Legacy Reach, all the good stuff, all the leagues, and try to make people happy by just overflowing us with content.
I mean,
I just had the worst image in my mind for a pizza.
Really? I just had the most, like, maybe because I'm overweight, but that sounded delicious.
Oh, it is. It is. What do you think they call
As he
that?
was explaining it, I'm like, I'm loving everything so far. Can we do this? I'm gonna make
I have
one
a
now.
picture.
Guys.
I have a picture on my computer. I've done this once.
Oh yeah.
I can find it to you if you want.
Well, how about no?
All
Anyway,
right.
there is a topic that came out, well, an opinion basically that I want you to give, that I had in mind the other night. What if in the 3.0 they make hardcore actually hardcore?
It's hardcore, dude. Like, not many players go, high levels.
Well,
Everybody
hold on,
comes and dies level, like,
explain what you
83.
mean, because if you die, you lose
Well-
everything in your character. So
Exactly.
you want to lose like everything in stash as well, or something?
Everything that character has produced.
Why?
Oh, like special
store
tags
it.
to that
You
character.
You can store it. No, you can store it. You can stash it. It is among everyone. But if it's in the stash and not on another character and has been dropped while playing that character, it's gone.
How do you even track
everything-
that?
Same.
There'd
Well,
have to be a special tag that has your character name on it that found it or something weird. I don't know. But then if you
Just make a
trade
bunch
it,
of mules.
then if you trade it, then what happens? Like then if that person
No,
dies,
no.
that person that you
Once-
traded it to loses the
no,
item.
of course not. Jesus Christ! Imagine fighting.
That'd be
Godzilla.
so good.
Imagine fighting Godzilla.
You do a trade and just kill your character off. Like, I get wrecked, kid.
and you,
And then that
find
person
yourself-
kills his character and like, haha, you're wrecked now. That'd be great.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was a bad idea. Anyway, no. the fact, I mean, turning hardcore actually hardcore. I mean, I don't want to go into the topic of
I think it's fine.
chickening out.
It's an interesting one. It's an interesting topic because I've played those past 4 leagues in softcore because of internet reasons, and also because I wanted to try out ghost busting, and you're not going to do that in HC, right?
I tried.
So I went, okay,
I
for the
died the
first time in my
second
life. Oh, you tried?
I tried
How did
it.
it work?
Yeah, no, I died the second map.
Oh shit! Yeah, this
Only
is
because
not right,
only
actually.
because of desync. So like my character must have been somewhere else, and it wasn't actually doing anything. But I thought I was cycloning down, and then all of a sudden my health starts to, like, I was fully immune. Like anything that was blocking, it was like the health bar wasn't moving at all. And all of a sudden my health bar was like blop 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 and died. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, it was. Don't do it on
Yeah.
hardcore. At least
So-
maybe after the improvements, maybe you can do it, but I wouldn't advise it.
Now that I'm back in hardcore, after so long in softcore, and I'm not a new player. I have like maybe over 8K hours in this game. I've got like many, let's say, achievements. But the game for me, even then, like there's a few parts that are challenging. And if you look about like in different Twitch chat with mostly hardcore community, people just level. And when it's time to explore the atlas, to reach this point where you farm shape map, you have to unlock your atlas first. And this is the most dangerous part. And everybody's dying at this point. So when you just quit Lake, you're done farming, those lame T4 and T5, and need to step up. Like most players that reach endgame in hardcore just die, and the game is difficult for them. And this part of the game is difficult. I think hardcore is I think it's fine the way it is because it doesn't need to be harder than that. It's very challenging already, as it is. I think it's exciting, it's challenging. And
the only thing I don't like is one-shot mechanics that aren't telegraphed. Like volatiles, you can't. I mean, at the speed that we're playing, there's no fucking way you're gonna read volatile. That's gonna one-shot you on life builds for the most part.
So
Even energy shields. I don't like.
So you want an aura around the volatile that tells
Something
you
visual,
visually.
something.
Yeah,
A little fucking
Yeah.
like reflect icon above their head or whatever. Like, I don't know, something actually visible, or change it to where somebody had mentioned this. I don't remember exactly when. I think it might have been Ziz or something. Where when you kill a volatile monster, for like a second, their corpse starts to make like they start to go like a little volatile. Like their arm gets bigger, their head gets bigger, then they're kind of like imploding from the inside out, and then just explode. Kind of like a bearer, like the timer of a bearer or whatever.
like
I mean,
instability, like
yeah, like that would be cool. That makes sense. It gives you a little bit of time to react. But like also boss fights that have like really stupid one-shot mechanics, like the crypt boss, where if you curse him, he one-shots you.
The touch of God.
Fuck that guy.
So
I was
like now
it's just ugh, God, I just hate it.
Problem becomes to me is that GGG has a problem. The speed clear meta is like here to stay at this point. So how do you balance around it? Well, you gotta kill people quick, or they're gonna log out, right? If you're trying to slow kill somebody, they're gonna see you're trying to kill them slowly, and they're gonna log on it.
yeah.
So the only way to get around that is they die faster.
I mean, every RIP compilation that they put out, there is always guaranteed a massive discussion about the logout and the logout macro. And personally, I know this is not a popular opinion, but personally, I believe that logging out shouldn't be allowed. I mean, I feel like I know it's not popular, right? I know I'm probably getting shit thrown at me, but in my opinion, you shouldn't be allowed to use the game mechanic. I mean, not the game mechanic, the software itself to save yourself from a situation.
Well, I mean, there's been this is a huge topic in itself, but in the end of the day, it's supported by GGG, and it's not in game because if the game crashes, you couldn't use it anyway, so it's useless. So it has to be out of the game. So they have to support it that way, and they are balancing their game around the logout macro so that they're able to provide the players that started playing this game the excitement that they get when they take big chunks of damage, or when they know they're about to get slammed by Shaper, they might be able to log out in that split second if they're fast enough. That's a skill.
No,
so
this
is yes, it is. You have literally maybe 1 second to hit the button to know when to log and know when to not log. That's definitely a skill.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you here, Padilla.
Like, I've played hardcore for 4 leagues plus. There are plenty of times that I was completely against the logout macro prior to playing hardcore. Playing hardcore, the first 2 leagues was shit at pressing it. There were so many times where I've pressed it after dying. There were so many times where I pressed it and still died. It's not a guaranteed. It's weird. It's a weird potion, kind of.
No, why using outside help to save your ass from a in-game?
So
It's not outside, like...
Well,
if GGG specifically made the program and told you that this is part of the game, you just got to download it, would that be okay?
It doesn't matter what GGG says. It's about
it's their game.
Yeah.
Okay, but it doesn't matter what they say. I mean, it's not that what they say must be absolutely right, because they have God that told them. Okay, of course. It doesn't feel right to.
It's weird. I'll give you that. It's definitely
so
weird. It kind of feels like
save
cheating.
your ass
It feels
from
like cheating.
Hardcore. Exactly.
It does feel weird, but it's the way it is.
I think we're missing the elephant in the room on this one, though. The reason why it exists in the first place is to deal with the
Instability
desync,
of the game,
instability of the internet, instability of the game, instability of fucking your power at your house. Like, there's instability everywhere in the infrastructure that supports the game. And that's why this thing is like a crutch to bridge that, or like a bridge on that gap where infrastructure ain't perfect. We can't trust it, especially in a hardcore setting, to be reliable 100% of the time. So you need that crutch, that quick that quick out to get you out.
So,
That's why I think GGG
with
supported
every
it in the first
other
place.
game.
No, like
Well, this is a different game, right? I mean,
this is definitely yes.
GGG's kind of like went specifically that route. They don't want to be like every other game. They want
No,
to
I
be
mean-
different.
Okay, but not with, I mean, giving you an easier way. Already hardcore is not hardcore like other hardcores where you lose your character and that's it. It's
I mean, like you're not the one to make the rules. Like if somebody, let's say for example, you say something totally out of it. Let's say you're like, oh, I'm scared of dogs, and somebody else
is that.
No, I know.
It's not
I'm just
about that.
I'm just
You're
making
making a-
comparison. I'm just
No,
making
I-
like a
It's a wrong comparison. It's a wrong
just to say
comparison.
that everybody has, you know, their views on one point. Like for example, for you, what defines a hardcore experience, like something extremely unforgiving. So this is something you can apply to one of your creations. But in the case of grinding gear games, they're the ones like applying their rules to what they define as being hardcore. And for them, having like this possibility and balancing the game around like this logout is one of the rules. So if they say that this is how they envision hardcore, I think this is how hardcore should be taken by us, by the community, and not, we cannot say, oh, this is how I think hardcore should be, so you should do it. And this is like whole like hardcore things should be in every game.
So
Yeah,
you
like
do
when I
not feel there is anything wrong with logging out to save your ass?
I don't, because I think being able to anticipate what's going to kill you and know when you should log out is an extremely important skill, because some, like,
How
it's
about
a required
anticipate
skill.
what's gonna kill you and avoid it prior?
Because for
Because
example, let's say you're doing Shayula. I don't know if you've ever killed Shayula. Let's say you go in the
I
fight.
never
and
killed that
put-
Siri, dude.
All right, let's say like Shayula. So you come in. It's a boss. Like it has like several actions, and you have a Cyclone. Cyclone's like several purple projectiles, and this thing does like immense amount of damage. And so what you would do is just enter the arena, pop your flask, do everything in preparation, and start nuking the boss. Except sometimes something goes wrong, and so you're in the corner, and like she's cycloning everywhere, and you have like
No flash
if
up. If
you
you're
have
like
no
Bill.
flash, no nothing, and it's going to kill you. So instead of just running around like a headless chicken, you log out and you just come back, and you were able to identify. It's not going to save you from a one shot, because if you mess up, Shayura is going to kill your ass no matter what. So you were able to identify. You knew the fight, you knew the mechanics, and you were able to get out of the situation with something that was in game. I
Now,
think that's my take on it.
there is
So
specific
basically-
scenarios.
I'm sorry, but so basically you're telling me that the only way to survive that boss is by logging out.
No, I don't. I'm
in
just saying that
what he's saying is in situations where you know that logging out will save you, and it's something that you're like, as long as you know the mechanics of the fight, you can go, okay, I don't have right now at this moment, I know that I don't have whatever it takes to survive this
Then
mechanic.
don't.
So then you log, so you save. It's essentially almost as the same as opening up a portal and going to town, but this is just much quicker. You can hit a button, you go to town, or you go to your login screen. Now there are things that I don't like about the logout mechanic with certain bosses. We'll take Shaper for example. When Zana dies and he does his ball phase where he starts teleporting around and shooting all the projectiles, they're like, "Oh, I don't have Zana, log," and then they just stand there with the 10-second immunity, and that entire mechanic means nothing because you can just always do that. I don't like that.
That's pretty bad.
That is
Kind of a
cheating in my
culprit.
eyes. That's a really shitty mechanic. I don't like that. But everywhere else, well, not everywhere else, a lot of the other spots, the logout macro definitely takes skill to know when to do it. I've seen people where they're scared, they log out, and they die because they logged out. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's because they didn't either do something right, or they logged out when they shouldn't have, and they probably could have leached back instead of logging. And the logging is what caused them to die. So I think it's okay, but that's not what we're talking about.
Taking this back a little bit, he was saying starting it with like wanting a more hardcore experience. I'm thinking GG's already provided that. It's called solo self-bound hardcore. You lose something there, you don't instantly get it back by just being rich and trading well. Like you can just be a smart trader and have your items back, as soon as you rip. That's a more hardcore experience. Like that's it. Beyond that, I think you have to start talking about custom leagues and things along those lines, right?
That has been a topic on the table for a long time now. Custom leagues with Morse and stuff.
Right, and then I think you could do something like, hey, this is an honor system league, no logging out, it's a hardcore. then you could design that type of thing and get people to buy into it and, you know, have your own system. But other than that, I don't think there's much headway to be made, especially with the way that
I'm just gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you this, and you make out your mind about this. I had to stop using the logout close calls when I do the RIP compilation, because once a guy got banned because of suspicion of auto logout. I'm not gonna name who it was.
Well, yeah, the auto logout's definitely cheating.
No.
Yeah, that's cheating.
Suspicion of auto logout. Basically, it was just a split second of logout that all the people that watched the video, reported him, and he got banned temporarily until he had to prove that he wasn't actually using logout macro. So I had to prevent these kind of things. I had to stop using the.
It's definitely a slippery slope when you're a game developer, or when you have a game that allows third-party scripts. It's definitely a slippery slope of what's allowed and what's not. If anything, GGG should have like I don't know if they do. If they should have like a list of what is allowed and what's not, because there are people that have gotten banned because they strictly didn't know, like auto flasks or auto flaskers or auto hotkeys that. It's not even an auto flasker. It's like you've made an AHK script to hit your flasks. It's no different than hitting log out, because I don't understand their one action per button press, because I gotta tell you that when I hit log out, there's more things happening than logging out. Or like I have like the new PoE trade macro. When I hit invite to trade, it invites them, also sends them a message saying, "Hey, sure, my hideout." Or when I hit, there's definitely a slippery slope, but. Obviously, there are things like auto logouts that automates the game exactly, instead of having to press the button. So it's annoying a little bit. But
do you guys think that Grinding Gear Games should do some kind of interview take questions about regarding what's possible to do and not possible? Like just clarify things. Do you think Grinding Gear Games should do that?
I think they should have a list of approved logout macros, and then if a game developer or if a programmer has an item that they want added to the list. They ask GGG, is this okay? GGG looks it over, says, yeah, this looks good, cool, next, add this to the list. There should be an approved list of tools that you can use, because it's their game. They need to control this somehow.
If the logout macro is so universally used, why don't they just implement it in the game?
Well, I already mentioned that. If the game crashes and you can't use the logout macro, and the game crashes quite often, not recently, but there are definitely times in the game.
I'm not talking about a macro. A built-in button that you press to log out from the game itself without using
that's the problem. If you have something in the game, if the game crashes, nothing you do does anything. It's just literally like Windows is like, this game's not doing anything. So no matter what button you're pressing that's in-game, if it's in-game, it can't help you at all. So if their game crashes because they have instabilities or because the drivers are fucked up from NVIDIA this week and it's not going to be fixed until next week, you're going to lose your character because the in-game logout mechanic can't be used because their game crashed. It's got to be outside the game. There's no other way around it. If the game crashes, that in-game thing is useless. It just doesn't work.
And they're happy with it as well. They don't have to pay for development.
Oh, right, exactly.
Outsource
it.
2 lines of code. Yeah,
crowdsource it. It's great.
It's like PoE trade, right? They're happy.
Yeah.
They don't want to police the fucking all the trades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they want to do that? That's just more work.
That's a ton of work. System, it has, there's gripes against it, but you can optimize it to, accommodate, get rid of those gripes. My opinion.
Yep. All right.
Correct.
I think we've beat that topic. It wasn't even on the agenda, but it's good enough. We've nailed that one. We're gonna switch over to balance predictions.
Balance prediction.
Yeah, I'll throw the first one out. I don't know if this is gonna happen in some form or fashion, and I hope it does. I think that life should get a new prefix that is a hybrid roll for percentage life. Very low percent, we'll say 5 to 10% on certain pieces, maybe 1 to 5% on others. And it would be a hybrid roll with armor or evasion, or both. Like you would have one with armor, one with evasion, and maybe on the non-major pieces of gear you get 1 to 5%, and on like a chest piece you get 5 to 10%, and that would bring it up to around not as high as ES, but around a livable life where you'll actually survive a volatile. And then also for blood magic needs a more multiplier behind it, just like CI has a more multiplier behind it. Or they need to remove the more multiplier from behind CI and then just have it as increased. What do you guys
So you
think?
think life is going to be rebalanced?
Completely?
Show. I mean, that's everything you've been suggesting basically is like bring life up, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can have a 25,000 energy shield, but you can't have a 25,000 life.
You can have 100,000 ES. You can't have anywhere near that as life. Because like mana guardians are retarded right now. They're I don't know. A lot of people say that they have to change that, but at the same time, they are trying to reward players for playing a support class. And even though the support classes are so busted, how many people do you really see running around with the support to get that amount of ES? I mean, it's overkill. Who cares? Like nobody's really gonna do that.
Well, in hardcore, you do the guardian, and softcore, it's all about the necromancers.
Yeah.
Yep. You want the deep, dude.
Yeah.
I played. I mean, the last character I played with my friend Equipping and Wargaming was a support because I knew I couldn't possibly level something decently with the schedule that I have now. So I was just leveling it with him, and I mean, it was nice to give such a power to my mate, but being immortal and doing 0 damage, I mean, the support means you can only play on not your schedule, but on someone else's schedule as well.
Yeah, there's like...
Yeah, it does definitely limit when you can play because you can't kill shit any other way.
Yeah, that's an issue. Yeah.
I don't even know how they would fix that. I think the only way they'd be able to fix it is like having like a dual spec system where you could like swap out of your support system and throw on. I mean, you could probably do Righteous Fire in a weird way.
And you shot on my hardcore mechanic, huh?
I mean, this would give supports a way to play without having somebody.
Yeah, but it's a nightmare.
Well,
imagine if you can have that on an actual damage character.
oh man, can you imagine if they were to change dots in 3.0? It'd be crazy, right?
Yeah, like I'm kind of changing subject, but here I think what I would predict, because I'm a Pathfinder connoisseur, right? I love playing Pathfinder. It's like by far my favorite ascendancy, and I think that flasks need like an overall the state of flasks right now. I think it's just busted. Tons of characters when your flasks are down, your character is ass, just straight ass.
You mean when Vinktars is down?
No, not necessarily. Just even let's say, for example, Aziri's Promise. It's an amazing flask, and I'm not fond of running Vinktars on every single build. Like the 20% is overkill. In most situations, you just need like 1%, and it's fine if you have enough damage. But for example, you're playing Blade Fury physical, like the classic one. You don't have your Lion's Roar up. Your damage is gonna be ass, and you don't have your bleed immunity. You don't have your shock immunity, your fizz immunity, and your character is just a vegetable sitting like in the map. And I think this needs to change. So I think they're not gonna nerf like directly Pathfinder, but they're gonna maybe change the way flasks work along with immunities.
I feel like
something I'm expecting.
I feel like Pathfinder should play the way flasks are played now, and every other class should be limited. It should be less powerful than other characters. I mean, obviously, Pathfinders are more powerful, but I don't know. I constantly see streamers and other content creators. They play these builds that are awesome. They're so good, and then the moment their flasks go down on a boss, they have to log, go to town, get more flasks, go back in, fight the boss some more. Oh, they're out of flask. Go to town, get more flasks, go back in. It's like, yeah, your build's so great until you get to single target. Then you like literally can't do anything. But yeah, there's a lot of builds that depend on Vinktars too much, and I feel like when you can depend on one flask to solve all your problems, that's kind of...
To be honest, I don't like Vinktars on any other character than Pathfinder because it's pretty much like takes another slot for a flask that's going to grant you shock immunity, and then you need bleed on top of that. So you have answers, but extremely limited. I think Pathfinder just answers all those problems and address all those issues with status elements immunity. So you pretty much just have to find some bleed removal or immunity somehow, and it's not even forced because depending on the content, sometimes you just don't even need it. But yeah, Flask, there's something like I'm not a game dev, so I don't exactly know. I'm not like really well versed in game balance, but
well, yeah,
there's something with Flask.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a bunch of changes. So like one of the main things, just starting at Flask. So I think we're gonna see a new line of Life Flask come out, a new tier. Because currently the tiers of Life Flask, when you start getting to the higher maps, they just feel like a wasted Flask slot almost.
Yep.
Like they're just damn near worthless. So I think we're going to get a new tier of flasks type of thing. I think we're going to see int brought down and life brought up to find a balance. So things like intellect, they're going to no longer scale energy shield. They're going to bring int down. They're going to bring dex up.
Right? Yeah, I remember somebody saying
balance
that.
It around strength type of thing.
But the problem is, what would int do besides Buffy S? Like, you can say it gives you more mana, but then like mana guardians become way too strong.
Well, they're gonna nerf the hell out of mana guardians. That Biscos is gonna get nerfed. I mean, there's just
Biscos is fine. Shut your horse mouth.
Biscos is one of the most broken things I've seen reduced in a minute.
And item quantity needs to stay in the game too, and animate weapon needs to stay the same. And I want to farm toll breaches the entire league. Anyways.
Biscos is just in a state that's just ridiculous. Like, if you use it in any meaningful fashion, it's...
You mean by equipping it?
I use it on any...
I said, you mean by equipping it. You said if you use it in any meaningful fashion. Yes, by putting it on. It's so good.
I mean, I've seen people put it on and do it series. I'm like, what, you're just going to add some rarity? I mean, there's no white mobs, so like...
I did find that a little weird, yeah.
Spots where I'm like, it's kind of weird to use it here, but if you're using it like in breaches or something, my god.
Now wait, hold on.
The issue is breach. Like, breach is the problem.
When you found the headhunter, were you wearing a Biscos in Adziri?
Yeah, it might have been.
There it is, buddy. That's why they're using it.
I was also using a Prophecy Leaguestone, so that might be it too.
Might be it.
Yeah?
I was using Quicksilver Flask, so maybe.
And you were, item quantity as well, I think, right?
Yeah. I was happy to see like item quantity back.
Oh, it's so
the weird thing to me is, like, the way they introduced the relics, it feels like this is a throwback or some kind of port to what Magic is doing with their foil system and some kind of like, is this thing gonna stay? Like,
I hope not.
I don't know. Is there a chance? Because I'm like, please don't. But it feels like
you're thinking the legacy.
I'm thinking, yeah, the relics themselves, the legacy items, that whole reliquary. Is that?
I think it would be cool if it stayed, but if they rotated relics. Maybe like not have all of them available.
Oh yeah,
that's
good.
Like maybe have like 10 to 15. No, I don't even know how they would. Like they're about as rare as Exalts. So, I mean, obviously having like 100,000 people playing, the items aren't going to be considered rare because there's so many people playing. But
right, I mean, when I look at that, it's the balance of it. Like, look at how they're rare. They're an Exalt to find the key. The weighting on the table is. We've done, I don't know, 50 plus keys between me and you, and we've gotten nothing of any value.
Well, we got a chill of corruption, which was
2x,
like 2x. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it's a giant loss.
Yeah.
It feels like this wasn't the true league mechanic. The league mechanic was Leaguestones. Like, then why is this here?
Well, as you said, there are 100,000 people playing. It will be too easy if everyone can just get the Calm's Heart legacy.
Oh, I get it.
In fact, I believe 3 or 4 has been dropped so far.
I just feel like there's too many of the garbage items that I've been getting. Like 50 keys, I kind of expected like something decent. Not even like maybe just a legacy lightning coil, like 1x item or whatever they're going for. Like we've had a legacy chill of corruption. I mean obviously RNG is RNG. I can turn in 10 keys and get 2 Vinktars, but I mean it's just
right.
You know. It just sucks when you're playing and you don't get anything fun.
Another guy turned in 3 keys and got 2 eternal orbs.
Yeah, we had somebody
like,
turning.
There's other ends of the spectrum, but the weighting out of it, the amount of stats posted I've seen, it feels like this wasn't the true League mechanic. It was a bonus, but it like even both of them could come into main game.
They kind of targeted they kind of advertised the League as like legacy League, legacy items. You're gonna get the relics, and they're gonna be good. It's like at this point, it's a meme to turn in a relic. Like you'd rather just fucking sell it for an exalt.
Oh.
But like
I feel like
now,
now
I don't know. It's just it's lottery.
I've never seen that many people play, like that efficiently, like mapping efficiently and optimizing Atlas, playing just mapping efficiently, right? And I feel like those just introducing back the chase items. And most people don't gamble as much as they used to, just linking stuff yourself. Tons of people are well aware that now just buy your 6-link. You just don't gamble too much, do not craft, because a 750 S-Val Regalia is the same price as a white one. So I feel like those keys, it's pretty much the only gamble that I do in a day. Whenever I have a key, I'm not going to sell it because I'm happy to gamble it, and it's going to be shit most of the time. But,
I don't follow any of those rules. I craft and I 6-link all of my gear, and I turn in every key I get.
You're a madman.
And I'm pretty rich, so...
All right, so make the prediction.
I wouldn't say rich. I'm well off.
Make the
when you hit jackpot, you hit a big jackpot with a...
Balance prediction?
What a key.
I know about just this part right in particular. Sorry, but mic cut out.
Yeah.
My mic or
no? Yeah, your mic cut out. What'd you say, Dicey?
Oh, I wasn't saying. I was just.
No, Dicey.
Oh, Dicey. Okay.
Yeah, he had asked a question.
All right. So predictions about that: is Legacy Stones going to come into the main game? Yes or no? And then is Relics going to come into the main game? Yes or no?
I'll start
Legacy Stones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a novelty. It's nice to, have a chance to get a headhunter the old-fashioned way.
Now, I don't know how other mechanics have been in the
hassle.
game, as far as like. So this has its own UI. This has stones that rely on that UI. If you now have 100,000 or 200,000 of these Leaguestones laying around, and then they don't add it to the game, what do? Just remove it? Like has there ever been a mechanic like this where there's items dependent on a UI feature that is from a league? If so, did they like what would you do with any of it? You just delete it? That sounds stupid. It has to be put in the main game in some way, I feel.
So your prediction is yes?
Yeah, I feel like it is.
And what about Relics?
As far as Relics go, maybe they only have it tied to if you're using a Leaguestone. That way it would
come in a diminished capacity.
Yeah, it would definitely be. Yeah, I think in some form or fashion, Relics will probably stay.
All right, what about you, Somayd?
I think, like what Tadio said, and I said earlier, I think grinding gear games don't like to throw their work in the trash. So they're going to keep some form of legacy stones, of league stones, but they need some balancing. Like Breach is actually like, it's too much. You get too much from a single Breach, and you lose too much if you don't run it. So there's like this, you're almost like kind of an obligation to run it. And also like slightly arranging the UI so that you can line up or queue up your Leaguestones would be interesting and less,
less tedious,
annoying. Yeah,
that's the hassle I was talking about.
Yeah. And also same with foils. I like your idea, Bio. Then I'm with you tonight. It seems like I really like the idea of a rotation of items, kind of Zana mods in the previous leagues, where sometimes you have Nemesis, sometimes you don't, and sometimes you have Chaos, sometimes you have Inktar. You have like this big chase item, and it rotates through leagues. I don't know. I would like to see both to stay in game, but with adjustments for Leaguestones. I think Breach right now is way too overtuned, and some other are just shit.
It's fun though. I like Breach.
Gamer, what about you?
Here.
About the Leaguestones.
Leaguestones, do you think they're going to be implemented? Yes or no?
Yes, but
diminish
have
capacity?
to. No, not that. They have to improve the. I mean, remove the +2 charges because you want to have those 3 exactly. That runs out at the same time.
Yeah, that is annoying.
And add a new one. It's finished. You don't know when it's finished. You have to add a new one. As Tarky said, having like a plinko effect. So you stack on one column, I don't know, 5 stones. On the second, another 5. On the third, another 5. So
Yeah,
when they
queuing up
run out,
stones.
yeah, they keep on refreshing.
So you think it'll come and then there'll be quality of life changes associated?
Yes.
That sounds pretty good. What about relics?
No idea.
So
idea
my
what
thing
I do.
with the league stones is they are entirely too powerful. I mean, this is a fun league, and the league stones make it just rain currency from the sky. A lot of these league stones, it's about the prefixes and suffixes used with other league stones, right? Specifics, prefixes, and suffixes, and then stacking sextants on top, and then triggering prophecies on them. That just makes maps rain. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. People I take into the maps say the same thing. There's nothing like this. It's just silly.
Vessel of Inktar is great with stacking stuff.
It has to go down, and if it's going to get introduced, I'm even at the point where I'm like, white stones are damn near too powerful. Certain white stones are just too good. Like a white breach stone, a white onslaught stone. I'm like, they're too good. Like they're just so good.
I think the biggest argument against having league stones in at least in leagues, I could see this being like taken to just standard, but then I could see a lot of people would be playing standard, and then their leagues wouldn't be as important, which is also bad. That's rough. But then also Zana's her whole job this entire time has been the league stone, essentially one at a time, whatever. So
Right.
like if they do put everything as is into the main core game, Zana's kind of obsolete. Even at this point nowadays, I barely use her, like once every 100 maps maybe. Like it's pretty uncommon.
Right. The only thing I used her
Fucking
for
put
this league
spiders
was
on.
buying these Xana maps with the rarity to do talismans to try and make great wolves with, and bought some maps to corrupt for completing some challenges at the end of the when I was going for 40 or 40. That was it. Like she means nothing otherwise. I mean, I guess the Beyond thing is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just to double
I've used that a
on some
couple
maps. But other than that, that's all I've used her for.
And double bus for farming scriptoriums, but it's like level 8, so.
I don't even have that. I think she's like level 6. I'm almost 7. I kind of was lazy on leveling because I've only done like lab and breaches this league. Barely done any mapping yet.
Yeah.
Oh, and Vinctars, yeah.
How about Scion? Is this the new patch where Scion gets some love, or?
If they don't, well, they already said. I think that if I remember correctly, they commented that they are going to rework Scion, right? Am I mistaken?
Yeah.
I thought for sure they said they were going to rework her.
I've heard that too.
So I think that there is a way to make her better, even if it's as simple as leaving everything the same and she can pick three of the main keystones instead of just 2. Because like the Uber Lab means nothing. Like what are you getting? You're getting a skill point and some stats. So instead, allow her to get 3 keystones on her little grid that she has. I think that would definitely open up some more use for her. But even still, I don't think people would use it. There's a lot of things you can do to her that I mean, if they do a full rework, then that's cool. We'll see. But
I think we could do some work with like 3 keystones. So you could just fit in the Slayer, which is like built-in Cunning Strike from Scion. Would be pretty interesting. Like Assassin, Occultist, Slayer would be quite amazing. I would do something around this for sure.
It's a one way to make her work good, but and then at the same time, I haven't looked at all the 3 combinations you could do. There's probably some busted combinations if you allow that.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously they'd have to balance things, but I think that giving her the leg up, or maybe not even. Okay, so actually there might be another easier way. Maybe not even allow her to get a 3rd keystone, but allow her to start somewhere else as the Uber one. So you get your 2 keystones, and then now you can also start somewhere else in the skill tree. So you have
For
your
free,
Scion
like
start.
just-
Yeah, well, as the Uber, that would be the Uber unlock,
Oh, yeah,
the eighth stone. So then you'd be able to start as the Scion path, and then also you would save skill points by being able to start somewhere else in the skill tree, while also still be able to get the 2 keystones. Again, don't know how overpowered that would be. I'm just spitfiring random things about what I have thought about in the past for Scion.
I mean, they really should just give Scion that generic leech back.
Yeah, but then everyone
Or
was a
was that-
Scion.
It had it for a while. Not everybody was playing Scion. I mean, it was like this small sect that was like, "Hey, Scion has generic leech. It's pretty good."
And also at the time we didn't have a Vitality Void and Soul Raker. Now there's 2 like clusters, the Duelist Leech and the Claw Leech, that can be applied to bows as well, or with Varunastra, with the Lioness Fall, for bows and Varunastra because it can be a claw. But when Scion got nerfed, we didn't have those knows how good as it is now. So
Yeah,
maybe
the
we have
generic
some
attack
options for
damage.
Leech now.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's purely attack damage, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for casters, that's what I was thinking on.
Yeah. Leech is an issue on casters,
Because
definitely.
casters have issues being strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. Let's go to reminiscing about the league. This is kind of where we just want to talk about just kind of fun and happy things that have happened and sad things that have happened and all the fun stuff there. This is probably Gamer for Life's forte, because considering that he does a YouTube channel where he kind of has a bunch of different varieties of streamer luck and rips and near rips, and he does a daily upload of all these kind of different videos. So we'll start with you, Gamer. What's your best moment, worst moment, and most memorable? And you can start with the best moment, and then we'll kind of go around and then go from there.
Well, the best moment depends on what you classify as the best moment. This is Avran killing the Shaper.
That was good.
That was good, indeed. That was good. Once the novelty of killing the Shaper wears
Well,
off,
just specifically this league.
Yeah. Oh God. Well, well, honestly, there's nothing. I mean, there's the best. Probably, I'd say when someone finds something good in the relic. That is probably the one that stands out when people find Wingters or I mean, so far I don't have the clip of someone finding Legacy Calm so far. But if you can see in the luck and unluck clip, this is the best of April.
Yes, that's actually what's playing right now.
Yeah, it's a bit rushed because it's a compilation of the previous clip. But the one that I personally like the most, it's when, as I said, people find something extremely valuable, or like Q-Dog here, destroys a 6-link Chevron's wrapping.
I need to get you a. I'm pretty sure I have the clip where I found my first shavs this league. I think that'd be good for you. I didn't upload it on my YouTube because I'm an idiot. I found my I found a comms, then a shavs, then a comms, and within a day.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. As Exile. He just found the 2 Reach of the Council. This one found the bloody Winter. Here we have frigging, what's it called, the Sorcerer's Boots, the
Red Force.
Yeah, I had a brain fart. You know, it's 2 in the morning for me. Again, Skyforth, but I mean, talking about luck, Cizaran is unbelievably lucky.
No, that's not true at all. He plays like 20 hours a day, so odds are when you roll the roulette wheel.
He 6-linked twice in 6 seconds.
Yeah, but he's also not 6-linked something in 3,000 fuse. Like
I understand that.
It's just spinning it's just RNG. Just because he has it seems like he has overall better RNG than other people, but it's not. The amount of hours he plays just rolls that wheel enough.
Understand that. Understandable. I'm not saying he is like, yeah, he got 10 6-link, but in 10,000 attempts. He got 2 6-link in a freaking matter of seconds, dude.
I mean, I 6-linked my Cosprey's Will and 17 fuse this league on day 1 or day 2, I think. That's extremely lucky. But then I also chucked 2,000 fuse into a bunch of 6-link Vault Regalias and got nothing. It's just, you know, RNG's RNG. Yeah, but it is cool when it happens, for sure. I've seen somebody get like 2 headhunters like within like 5 belts. Like,
well, last league Norse did that.
Yeah, I know. It's retarded. Things happen. It's cool. It's great. That's kind of like the best thing about this game is the crazy things that can happen that you've played for 2,000 hours, you've never found a comms or a shavs, and then a couple hundred hours later, you find a comms, then a shavs, then a comms.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, within a day. Cool.
Yeah, true. But he's like this time, he called for a branch. He called it, and he got it. He called for a silver branch, and he got a silver branch.
Well, I mean, I can call something every time I do something, and then once I get it, it looks crazy if you just clip that.
Oh, come on, don't talk shit. Come on, he didn't do that.
I can every time I slam, I can be like, oh, this is going to hit T1 flat. Boom! Oh, I got it, yeah! But if I do that every single time I slam, it means nothing.
It's a technique.
I mean, look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this clip.
What, is it the jeweler, then the fuse? 1 jeweler, 1 fuse, 6-link?
Yes.
That's crazy.
That's rare. That's very good.
But yeah, it's extremely rare.
Mental.
It's cool though. I like it. Right?
Like the other day, I had 2 Viridian jewels in my inventory. I vowed both of them. They both went to Sack Harvest. I checked the percent. They're both 25%. It's like, all right.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty ridiculous.
I voled 3 drill necks back to back, and I got +1 arrow on 2 of them.
Jesus.
That was pretty
amazing.
Cool.
I played this game for like 17 years, and I've never found a Chaos Orb. You guys are so lucky.
Oh, yeah. RNG hasn't busted.
Don't talk.
Alright, so what was the worst moment for you?
The worst moment. When people fail at the last second. When people put, what, hundreds of hours in a hardcore, they finally reach the shaper, and for 1% or little more, they die there. I don't remember who specifically was, but it was heartbreaking to see the desperation in his face. I mean, it's not like some hardcore players that just die at level 92 and they go like, oh, well, no problem.
Just reroll, be there back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, you could really see the pain in his face. I mean, it was really heartbroken.
Yeah.
That actually, yeah, that actually, that really felt bad. I mean, it's just a game, so when people react to something, it's like this guy just said bullshit.
I love when people get one shot and they're stunned. They're like, wait, what? The fuck just happened? I've had that happen to me multiple times, and I'm like,
Moldren.
I just kind of look around like when I died to the Crypt boss, I had no fucking clue what he did. Well, no, not necessarily true. I had no clue that his activated when you use Blasphemy. Somebody had told me, and I don't remember who, somebody had told me that if you use Blasphemy curses, it doesn't count as cursing him for triggering the mechanic that he has. So I'm just sitting there like fighting him, he's going down real fast, he's about to die, and then all of a sudden I get one shot. And I just kind of look around like, what? Yeah, it was shit. The character was so strong too. So strong.
The shock on the face of people when they get one shot when they're supposed to, like you're gonna see. No, it's in the funny section, one in the end. There is this girl that was I don't remember the name. Was playing. It was softcore, of course, but it was fighting the Uber Exile, and she was like, yeah, "I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna carry you if you want. It doesn't seem too hard." And she got 8,000 HP drained in one shot with a slam.
What I like is when somebody kills a boss and then they die too on hardcore. Like when they kill like Uber Azaro, and then they die as well. It's like nice.
Did you see the end of Elman's last run for the Maokai challenge thing?
Yeah, where he killed him and then he died. Still counted though.
He died. Yeah, he died, and then the totem killed Maokai.
I was
like, oh, it counts.
Yep, totally counts.
Check this out. 54 HP out of 9,000.
That's just server lag. I've died with quote unquote HP before as well.
Well, Shinra got destroyed here.
Tarky's deaths are
was
kind of they're fairly entertaining. His responses to death are just like, well, that happened. There's like very little emotion. It's just more like, all right.
Yeah.
Disbelief, I guess.
His desktop is horrendous. What the fuck? Look at his desktop. Who has that many icons on their desktop? What the fuck?
Yeah, I asked him. He said he did it on purpose.
Oh.
Are all fake icons, so just
Okay.
messing
Fair
about.
enough. Yeah, that sounds like so.
Oh my
Tarky during one
God.
of our podcasts, he was so pissed that nobody noticed, but he was drinking out of 4 different tea mugs. So every time he took a drink, there was a different tea mug. Nobody noticed it until like a day or 2 later. That's pretty. He's definitely good at trolling.
So, was there anything more memorable this league for you, gamer? What stood out?
Well, that stood out particularly. Actually, to be honest, well, Q-Dog with his gigantic character when he gets the 4 Inspire Learning and the Headhunter with the Valve Fireball. When in one occasion he went so big, it was literally out of the screen. The camera was inside the character.
This is how
That
GG
was-
intended for it to be played.
The amount of rares that you can generate on a map now with the speed of head oh man.
No, seriously, that
crazy.
was memorable. I mean, there is in this compilation you're gonna see it. It literally his model gets so big, the camera is inside it. You can actually see the mini model that is inside the the bigger one. That's really, I mean, that's ridiculous. I've never seen something like that in any game. When you can become so big that you get out of the screen. That's really mental.
I like Ziggy D's deaths. I'm just watching these clips that are going on. He just laughs. He laughs like
because,
every single death. He thinks it's funny.
It looks like he doesn't even care. I mean,
It's great.
There was one occasion in the previous month when he was talking about when he realized that he can make a living out of streaming, and he didn't realize he was playing a reflect map. He got one-shotted, and he was stunned for a second, and I started laughing hysterically. that was, and here is the funniest moments of April.
Here's the cute dog thing you were talking about.
It's gonna come in a moment. I'm watching Chister that was thinking why he was offering counter essences when he was trading with Zana. I mean, look at this guy.
Check. It's pretty big. Johnny
Yeah.
Sins.
Oh god,
Porsche.
what a stupid joke you just made.
Oh yeah. I'm a
Bloody
fanboy.
hell, man.
All right. So what about you,
Bloody
Somayd? What was best thing you did this week?
I think like the best moments were like in Soul Southbound. So the first week, I played like 8 or 9 days in Soul Southbound softcore. So I was in the race in top 5 for the first couple days. So seeing my name, opening the first Hydra, first Chimera, was pretty like my EP became like huge, and I thought feels good, man. And also, so I started with Flame Blast Totem, so just the most boring shit about ever. And I respect, like, after 5 days to CI Doomflash Prism Pathfinder in Soul Southbound. And I was like, it was fine, except I had no way of getting stun immunity. I found no Valerian, no Choyola. I was dry. And I was bitching about, I need a Kara. So I was picking up all the Silver Flasks and chanting them. But, like, Silver Flasks are super rare. And I was bitching about it, kept on going, and open a breach, kill a monster, drop a Kara. And I was, like, so happy about that. It actually like made the character much better. That's mostly it. Like rest of the game is just classic. When you play enough, you just balance things. I never have like absurd luck or no crazy things happening to the best moments.
So you enjoyed the Soul Self-Found experience?
I really enjoyed it because I think when you know the game in depth, you kind of know what you're getting into, and you have a better experience. And also, like, I learned, it helped me like learning exactly the atlas, like exactly how I could manipulate the atlas, the early days atlas, so day one, and how important is Zana. So Zana, like we were talking about Zana earlier, and yeah, I had like good moments in Solo Saffron. It was pretty good, and progression is really fast actually. Like I think by day 2, I was I did the Hydra day 2, at the end of day 2.
Yeah.
So that was pretty
Saffron?
cool. Yeah, in Solo Saffron softcore. Yeah, that was pretty good. But like Solo Saffron, how many what?
How many ports did you use?
I bricked it, dude.
Oh.
Because it was corrupted, and I forgot it had like X-proof, and I was playing the Totem Elementalist, and the X-proof actually just wrecked me because like my damage was gimped, and I just bricked it. I got the camera though.
Right on.
Yeah, I just wanted the achievement, dude. I tried though, and then I gave up because I wanted to play with a friend. A friend just built a Necromancer just for me, so it was waiting for me. I was like, okay, let's go back to Legacy. That was the best moment, I think. This and Lucara, it's pretty good.
Anything that was bad that stood out to you?
I'm sorry.
Anything bad that stands out to you?
Oh yeah. Like doing the endless grind is absolutely ass.
What do you mean?
I'm not happy with it. Like I'm a completionist, right? So I go 40-40 each league, and yeah, I killed 1,000 of the series, and I have to do it 100 more. Same with Lab. Lab is okay. I love Lab, but in terms of like exactly what happened, I think it was in Solo Self-Found, and I was streaming again, and I found like I identified a chest with like 750 ES, triple res, like low res, but triple res, and it was like my chest, right? And I wanted to show to my stream because somebody joined my stream, and I was like, "Hey, dude, look at this chest!" So it just goes in my inventory. I wasn't using it, and then I was just finishing a map, and I just vendored it, and I didn't realize like at the moment I was like, "Wait, what happened?" So yeah, it was funny, but
Right.
not the
I
best.
saw somebody do that with a 900 chest this league
Jesus. Oh my
the day after he crafted it. Well,
God. It feels bad.
Well, there is a clip when one guy was rolling chaoses on a chest. He rolled like 900 and accidentally re-click it.
Oh my god. I do fat fingers sometimes when I craft because it was this new mouth. It's too small something.
Oof.
And also,
some
yeah.
stuff.
And I don't have much. Like I'm playing PoE. This is the game I love the most, and I'm almost certain that PoE is going to be my last game ever. I'm 29 now, and like PoE is just.
You're planning
cannot
on
find
dying
another-
soon?
Come on, sorry.
You're planning on dying soon?
Yeah, dude. So I wanted to talk about that. Just raise awareness. No, just I'm kind of burnt out. I started playing games like 25 years ago, and like I've played PoE 4,000 hours this past 8 months. I think I've on average like 1,200 hours.
That's rookie numbers, dude. That's rookie numbers.
1,200 hours in League, dude. It's a lot. And so I feel like I'm never gonna find like the same feel I have, same commitment to a game. So every moment I play in PoE, sometimes there's like some slight discomfort, but overall I'm happy playing PoE. I met like wonderful people. Like this game is amazing.
Thank
and just
you.
Yeah, that's what I think about this game.
Yeah, and it's just been getting
And-
better and better and better, which is great.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah.
And 3.0, I think, might be a nice refresher for a lot of people that are feeling the same way as you.
Yep.
Yeah, if you see the graph on the player, what's it called in English? The player
Retention?
Retention?
There you go. There is always a peak, and then it goes down on the same rate.
Yep.
I mean, you can see it. It's perfectly regular patch or a new content peak, and then it goes down the same exact rate as before. It's on a statistical point of view, it's incredibly regular. So I suppose they know that and they move accordingly.
Yeah.
was there anything particularly memorable there? Something, yeah.
Oh yeah. So there's the thing where like Polio, we were talking about it earlier. when you call stuff, and when it happens, you can have like nice clip. And I have this thing in my it's a recurring theme in my channel. It's like bitching and moaning. So sometimes like when I notice that it's been a long time since I last got an Exalt drop, I'm gonna bitch and moan about it. Like in a breach, for example, I have my Biscos, I have my Quant Gem, and I'm gonna bitch. I'm gonna go, it's been a long time since I last got an Exalt. And I was doing this, like I farmed the vault a lot this league, and it's actually a clip in my channel, and I was like, long time I last seen like an abandoned dwells. And as I said this, like boom, an abandoned dwells just dropped. That was pretty funny. And also I was leveling a new character. I think it was a drunk stream, and I had like I had a 6-socket Briskwork drop, and I was like, hey, let's level with this thing, but like premium leveling. We're not doing tabula rasa. This is for plebs. And I tried to 5-link it, and in like 20 fusing, just 6-linked a Briskwork. That was memorable. It's pretty good.
20 fusing, eh? And then people say RNG streamer doesn't exist. Huh?
Just 30 to 100 on my Doomflux Prism. Nobody was online selling. I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuse it myself. I'm lucky, dude. I'm lucky, dude. I had like maybe 38 keys, over 60 Exalt drop this league. I had a Bringer of Rain Legacy, my first Reliquary Stone in HC when I came over like a week ago. I got a Bringer of Rain, pretty good draw as well, that sold like instantly. But like even then, it doesn't even make up for like the 37 before it was shit. I have diffuse, good over average RNG, I guess. But no shiny stuff, like no Hunter, no Skyforce. It's never gonna happen to me. I'm not this kind of guy, I guess.
Skyforce.
I've never chose Skyforce, dude. I think I'm well over like 20k chance, and I've tried forcing it as well. Like 2k Scours, 2k chance. It's the end of the league. I'm rich, whatever. And I do this every league. It never fucking happened. I'm like, am I cursed? That's it.
My first unique that I've ever chanced was a Fencoil branch in a race. And then after that, it's only been Worms Molts and fucking Immortal Flushes so far this league. Never chanced a Skyforce.
I have one.
Look at you, Doc. Look at this shit.
Yeah, 75 KS, 92 KS.
Yeah, as Nismat say, I have like insane Uber at Zeri RNG. It's not uncommon that sometimes I get like 3 axes in a row out of 5 runs. It's crazy. My Uber at Zeri and RNG is insane.
Oh, my RNG this league has been pretty insane. Like I've never crafted so many good items. Like oh my god, crafted like a 980 ES chest piece, a 500 plus ES shield with spell crit and spell damage.
Oh my god!
With like decent res. Like I've crafted some crazy shit this league. I've Exalt slammed like 55 int on a shield that I was looking for a res, but I got int, which was still fine. Me and Dicey have been going back and forth and just kind of like crafting different things of gear, and I've 6-linked okay. Like I said, the most memorable for me I would probably say is on day 2, 6-linking my Cosprey's Will, just trying to get a 5-link with 20 fuse, and I got it on the 17 fuse, and I'm like, oh, all right.
That'll do.
I once had a 4-link.
Nice. Ooh, that's a good
on
one.
the shield.
Yeah.
What was your worst moment this league, Paleo?
Paleo, you stuck it to you?
I'm thinking because honestly, the league's been very good, and I haven't really done anything that's bad. I can't really think.
The modesty on this guy.
Cruising.
Okay, I got the worst moment. Okay, so in the very first couple weeks of the league, I was running an Uberlab farmer, destroying Uberlab, no problem. I could do all the double damage phases, whatever. It doesn't matter what it had, I can do it. With the proper mitigation and enough life, you can do anything, and the willpower of a saint. But so I remember Dicey was farming Shapers, and he was buying Shaper sets and then farming them on his Blade Vortex character. And I'm like, yo, my character's pretty good. Let me get a set. And he was like, all right. He's like, you sure you can do it? I'm like, yeah. This character's great, and I've seen Norse do it. This is no problem. So I go in, I clear the bosses just fine. Everything's going great. I go into the Shaper fight, and I remember doing Shaper last league, and I could have sworn he monologued for a lot longer during the first phase. So I'm like sitting there like, all right, ready for a monologue. And next thing I know, I got balls in my face and I get one shot. Like within the first 3 seconds of the fight. And I'm like, oh, so he doesn't monologue that fast, huh? Or that long in the first phase, huh? Well, that's kind of shit. Whatever, all right, just a fluke, no problem. Go back into the fight, jump in, start attacking him. He's doing like near one-shots everything that hits me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I watched Norse do this. He did it no problem. So like I go in there, I start DPSing during the phase, like the laser phase and whatever. Next thing you know, he's like smacking me for like 5k a hit, and I'm like, I don't understand what he's doing that I'm not doing. And then I get killed, and I'm like, all right, Dicey, come kill him. I can't. I'm doing no damage. I'm just running around avoiding his shit. So that was definitely my worst thing. Like overconfident. I know the fight. It's not that I didn't know the fight. It's just I don't know how to do it with that character. Last league I did it with an Ancestral Warchief character, so it's a bit different.
And what about memorable?
So basically, you're saying you suck.
Yeah. As Slayer on Shaper, yes. But I'll dominate Uberlab all day long.
Just kidding, just kidding.
So most memorable I'd have to say is definitely got to be the 17 Fuse Cosprey's Will. The best moment would probably have to be buying my first Headhunter.
Okay.
That's
For how much?
80x. Really,
Yeah,
really gearing that character was fun because I bought a Headhunter and I bought a Skyforce and I bought a 6-link Doomfletch's Prism with using a Calm. So like in the matter of about a day, I spent out like 130x. So
And you still failed.
actually, yes, that character I took him apart within like a day or two because it was a life build and fuck life. I'm never going life again. I will play CI everything now. There's no reason not to go CI. Fuck life.
Sounds like an emo band.
Yeah, fuck life. Fuck life, go CI. New band title.
So for me,
yeah, what
me,
for you for Dicey? What you got?
the gotta go best moment would be finding a Headhunter, and
Fair
didn't really
enough.
fuck around that much in Nemesis was still playing standard back then mostly. Just seeing that on the ground was like, oh, wow, okay then. And I was thinking about what we were talking about buying one at that point. It's like, well, guess we don't need to spend the money on it.
That's just saved us 80x, yeah.
Yeah. Worst moment was with Leaguestones. With all these Leaguestones, like I'm going through the database, like looking at all the prefixes and suffixes. I come up with like this list of, you know, these specific sextants and specific stones that I want to run with this prophecy. And I set it up, you know, spend like an hour or two setting the damn thing up, buying the stones and that kind of stuff, and get the prophecy to proc on the map, and then look in my inventory and realize that I forgot to put the Leaguestones in the fucking.
No, holy shit.
I was just like livid.
Pretty good.
Like I like had to like log out for a little while. I couldn't even like. I was like, I can't believe I just did that.
No, that's depressing.
that was pretty. I was pretty depressed after that one. Yeah. Most memorable moment would be like my strategy for this league was just go to Vinktars as fast as possible. Get in Vinktars, farm Vinktars. It's in a great position with sextants. So I bought a bunch of sextants, blocked it off like, you know, normal people block off strands. I blocked off Vinktars, right? And I just put good sextants on it. And we would run it with the the Radiating Tempest. That gives, you know, the giant quantity and rarity bonus. It already has 100 base quantity on the map. It has good density on it. If you put it with sextants, the thing why it's so memorable is we were overloading it so heavy that it had like a 90% chance not to open.
Yep.
It would just fail activation. So we'd be doing dances around the map device to try and get it to fucking actually trigger because it was that overloaded. And this is on like day 3.
He'd have to take out a sack fragment, try to hit it to activate, failed activation, put the sack fragment back in, failed activation, okay, take out 2 fragments, try it now, failed activation, put the 2 back in, and it works. It's like, wait, what?
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly how it would go.
Yeah, it was nuts though, but like obviously there was like ghost busting back in the day that spawned a shit ton of loot, but nowhere near compared to what we were doing in Vinktar Square with Leaguestones and Sextants and the map itself, plus a color. We were using my Slayer as the color, so I would almost guarantee that everything that we hit would have it. Like hitting Alt and then just like waiting 10 to 15 seconds for everything to load in and then just run around the map, and it's completely full of items. No matter where you ran, items were literally everywhere. It was just the amount of loot. Ugh.
you would hit a dense pack of mobs, right? And the game would lock up, not because there was lag, because it was trying to generate the loot, and it would shit out like
every rare
9 uniques. Like, I'm not even kidding. It would shit out like 6 to 9 uniques, just all on the ground. And uber strict loot filter wasn't enough.
How many cheap ones did you find doing that?
How many what?
Like over 5x uniques or like very expensive uniques. Did you find any?
A good amount. Yeah. Lots of stuff that was selling in the beginning because it was early in the league.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of stuff like I can't even remember, but it was selling then.
A lot of good rares. Like there was so much jewelry that dropped. There was so many like good bases of things that could be good. I don't actually think we found like. I mean, we found exalts and stuff, but I don't think we actually found like a tier 1 unique or anything. All the shit that
they just weren't valuable T1 uniques.
All the tier 1 uniques I found have been in toll breaches with my Magic Find character. Every single one of them.
Yeah, I spent a lot more time there.
What's the top item you have actually found yourself?
Shad.
Would you say?
Headhunter or Skyforce?
Well, Headhunter for you for sure. That's like the most. Yeah, he found the Headhunter on the ground in that series.
I don't know. I was talking about a
Skyforce.
I think I
found them.
You chanced the Skyforce or you found them?
Both.
Oh.
Damn.
Streamer orange.
I think I found like 4.
He doesn't even stream.
Might and like a Tuco hammer. I had no idea that Tuco hammer was so valuable. And my chat was like, "Yo, give nuts," because every time I get nuts is like currency in my stream. Every time I have a good loot, I give nuts to my chat. And like I got a Tuco hammer, I'm pretty happy because the first time, and I had no idea it was like 5x. I ended up giving nuts, and yeah, Shad as well this week. Never
give nuts to your stream.
Yeah, it's like the currency. Like every minute you spend watching my sorry ass, you get 1 nut, and every time I have an exalt, I give 100 nuts. Just some sellout stuff.
So you're nutting all over your streams?
Exactly. It's the nuttiest stream ever. It's bad. It's pretty bad. Don't come.
That's nuts.
Don't come. Did you get that? Don't come.
Don't come. Nuts.
Don't come because it's nuts.
So funny. This is gonna be the light of. Never mind.
I'm trying to find that there was a I think I had a clip of the amount of loot that we found, but I'm just going back. I don't remember exactly when it was. And me and Poetalk talk so much that I'm just trying to run through and find it. I didn't even know the things go back this far.
Yeah, we had some the Leaguestones. If you sat down with them and looked at the prefix and suffixes on it, like at the beginning or before the league started, even we were able to come up with like a list of like, okay, these things are off.
I found it.
And it wasn't just, you know, the ones that everybody thinks of, like, oh, you know, breaches with +2 breaches. Oh, that's obviously broken. No, it's like war bands with plus war bands mobs, where every war band has additional blue packs on it. And with like 5 additional war bands,
what do I do?
Basically doubling the amount of blue packs on the map. Do that with evasion bosses too. Onslaught. Oh my god.
Lower it so you can see all
Domination with like shrines contains like blue monsters is actually crazy. Yeah. I found my first one like that in HC. I was like, why haven't I bought this? Like, this is crazy, the amount of red monsters, blue monsters you have when you use this Leaguestone.
And if you were doing that with, you know, like if I did this one Leaguestone with that one Leaguestone and that one Leaguestone, and with these sections, it just was. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found it.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
That's what the restrict.
That's nuts.
Xbox ready.
You can still do that.
Oh yeah.
You can still do the same combination. This one? Oh, they're so short. Alright. Yeah, that was back 3/12. So what was that, on day 10?
Yeah. Something like that.
So fun. So fun. Alright, as I was watching that, I didn't hear anything you said, so...
Well, I was thinking about moving on Path of Paper.
Oh, yeah, of course. That. So Path of Paper is something that I'm excited to talk about, because I play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's a MMO. I'm sorry, it's a Path. Oh my god, let me.
You can do it. Come on.
Well, I was trying to like do multiple things at different times, and I kind of.
Big breath and try again.
All right, it's a role-playing game, pen and paper role-playing game. If you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, it's definitely it depends on the group that you're playing with. It determines whether or not you're actually going to have fun or not. It really depends on the dungeon master themselves and then the group of people. And AngryAA has decided to make a Path of Exile version of Dungeons and Dragons. So it's a role-playing game that you would typically play, but he's made his own rules for the entire game. And I think it's been a work in progress, he said, for years, like many, many years. It's still in like alpha. He's still writing the rules and everything. And if you guys haven't watched it, he's been streaming it, and I think they've had like 4 episodes now. There was a bit of a lull in episodes because there was AngryAA had some illness that he was working with, so there's been like a couple weeks that haven't been
The Ebola.
he hasn't been able to do anything. But it's Ziggy D, General Sows / Cute Dog, Zizarin, Ziggy D's girlfriend / wife. I don't know if they're married. Girlfriend, Amy, and then of course AngryAA as the dungeon master. Essentially, he's in charge of telling the story, kind of guiding the players. He's the rule maker, and then the players are there to kind of craft their story. So AngryAA is his goal is to kind of build the world around them, and they're assisting with that as well. So if you like action, there's really actually no action on the screen, but if you like role-playing games, there's action in that they're maybe acting out what they're doing. They're role-playing their characters via voices. Like Ziggy D's, he's got his beard and his staff, and
His Scottish accent.
his character has a 100-inch penis, apparently.
That's me.
I remember one of the memorable moments that I was watching. It was the very first episode, and they were in the process of really like just getting into the game. And I remember that I think Ziggy wanted to roll his penis size, and Angry was like, He's like, okay. He was like, roll a 100-sider, and Ziggy's like, okay. Of course, Ziggy would roll 100. So he was like, well, it's 110 inches long or something like that. He's like, your penis like drags in the dirt, creating like a line. And so
I'm sorry,
I
but
think his character was hung or
for the
something like
people
that.
who don't use the inches and the feet, how much is 100 inches? Like 2.5 meters?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, it's
Inches
12.
like
It's
2.5 centimeters.
I was gonna say it's 12 inches per foot, 3 feet per meter, right?
Oh my
So
god.
it'd be 36 inches per meter. And his was like, so I guess it'd be like 3.5 meters.
The kid's big. It's big.
Yeah, it's definitely not normal size, but that's the kind of cool thing that happens in
For
Dungeons and
you.
Dragons. It's a role playing game. You kind of like do whatever you want, and there's rules obviously, but like as far as like flavor and role playing goes, typically a dungeon master, as long as he's good, will allow things to be weird and funny. Like, who cares? Why do you care if the player has a 100-inch penis? It's just fun. There's no downside to it. If anything, you could like he can accidentally slam his penis in a door, and it's funny. Like, it's just like there's things that you can build off of.
Right.
And,
I mean,
and
like,
What do you mean there's no downside with a 100-inch penis? You have any idea the
actually
amount of
does have
blood
some
you have to put in it?
Oh my god.
he's got to like tuck it in his sock.
one
You
of the
know, when
funny
I
things
was-
to me was like in the creativity that they did. It's like they met Rise and some other exiles. They end up killing Rise,
Yeah.
cutting off his penis, and then bringing him back as a zombie.
Yeah. So Amy's a necromancer. Well, no, she's a. What is she? I forgot what class she is, but they have found essentially how the game works is I don't even know if there is necessarily classes, but like you can build off of your character via the gems that you find, kind of like in the normal game. It's very based off the game, like almost exactly. But he made Elemental hit good, like probably too good. I think he made it overpowered for a reason. But anyways, it's a 10 based die system if you're familiar with the Dungeons and Dragons, which is normally a 20-sided die system. But he uses the 10-sider. Don't know exactly why, but so when you kill monsters, you have a chance to absorb these using the gems. You have the chance to absorb the skill that they may have, or like when you kill an Exile, for instance, like Rise, all the gems that they had acquired and learned are now available for yourself. So there's like a lot of benefits to killing them. And yeah, when they had found Ray's zombie early on, she had zombies with her character, and zombies are really good in this game. They must have already had the Montegrol's buff and whatnot. And so then when they killed Rise, she was like, Amy was like, can I reanimate him as my zombie? And then AngryAA is like, sure, why not? Who cares? It's a zombie. There's no benefit. There's no like anything besides flavor. There's nothing. It's still a zombie. It doesn't get any additional benefits. But it's one of those things where you have fun playing with the people you're playing with, and as long as the group is good and the dungeon master is good, it creates a lot of memorable moments, and it's good. It's good fun times. Like I actually play Dungeons and Dragons. I have two different groups that I play on a fairly regular basis, once every couple weeks. And I'm the dungeon master in one group of 9 players, which is insane. The average group size for Dungeons and Dragons is normally like 4 to 6, maybe. 6 is even still a lot. We have 9. So having to DM that is pretty insane. But yeah, it's cool, man. Like he's got like what it's playing right now. Like the episode, obviously there'd be sound to go watch it. It's actually a good watch. The players that he has, Zizern obviously is pretty comical. Ziggy's pretty good. Amy and General Sows, I think in the first episode they were a bit quiet, but like as they played, they kind of like unraveled their character into the game, and then it became really cool. So it was getting to the point where I was like, "When's the next episode, Angry? Where you at?" But he was sick, so you can't really control health, you know.
Yeah, when I was young in high school, there was a group of classmates that were playing Dungeons and Dragons every single day in the break. And one day when I was, well, I don't know how it works your school years, but basically the last year of school, after some arguments, basically the dungeon master decided to have a nice meteor strike the 4 heroes and killing them. And a brawl exploded in the in the cafeteria. So yeah, I remember that. And the guy was, oh really? Okay, then a meteor just came to Earth and everybody's dead. And then they start punching each other. It was it wasn't a nice sight.
I've never been into Dungeons and Dragons or any of that, but I watched Path Paper. Those guys are pretty entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertaining for the characters, not for the action itself. I mean, the 4 people.
Like I said, it
there,
depends.
Yeah,
it really does depend on the person. Like if the most entertaining people that I could watch playing Dungeons and Dragons is a group called Critical Role. They're on episode like 90 for their main Dungeons and Dragons, but the channel also does a bunch of different other stuff. But Critical Role is a Dungeons and Dragons based game, and every character is played by a voice actor. All of them they have voice acting careers. They do things and other things.
Wow.
But so you have these people with very good talents. They have voices for their characters specifically. They know how to act. So when you have that kind of experience behind you, and then you add role playing to it, the dungeon master, every attack and every kill he describes in such a great way that it's not just like I shot an arrow, the guy's dead. He like explains that the arrow pierces through their neck, blood squirts out of the neck, the character grasps their neck as they fall to the ground. Like he like explains things in like very good detail. He kind of like paints the picture for you. It's awesome. They're like definitely the biggest group. They have like 30 to 40,000 subscribers. Like they're massive. They've actually been so impactful for Dungeons and Dragons that it's actually making it's surging as a comeback. Like it died down pretty big. But it's definitely, as far as the game is, considered, like it's awesome. It's pretty cool.
It's almost a play, like a stage play, theater.
Oh yeah,
the way you describe it looks amazing.
I definitely recommend, even if you don't like Dungeons and Dragons, go watch some of the episodes, and you actually still might enjoy just the amount of, like if you like plays. They do have visuals as far as like you see the character, you see the people, all 8 of them. You see the dungeon master. They do have like miniatures for when they do battles for the most part. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's insane. It's really cool and fun to watch. And each
There is a
episode's like
very
4 hours long, I think.
there is a very old YouTube videos in French. It's
Yes.
one of the funniest video I've seen. You probably know what I'm talking about. About these three friends that play, well, actually four, that play Dungeons and Dragons, even though they never name it so. And well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but even because I don't think you can show it on this stream, but it's extremely funny. You know what I'm talking about, Somayd?
I have no idea. No, I'm not really into this kind of thing. I've played, okay, like occasionally I'm going to play board games like Risk or Monopoly with friends, but I have so many like different interests, and this one is very time consuming. So if sometimes like if I get ambushed by my friends and they ask me, hey, let's play a board game, let's play some Dungeons and Dragons stuff like that, I'm going to do it. But usually I'm like more the kind of do to just watch in a corner like other people play. But in the case of specifically pen and paper Path of Exile, I'm not really I'm not really interested in it. Just by the relationship I have with PoE, I just want to destroy content. Like everything else doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's definitely not
me.
fast paced by any means.
Yeah, and I love all those Sauce, like we're good buddies. Zeran is a cool dude. I don't really know about like Ziggity, but I like those guys. It's just I feel like I have better things to do.
Guy.
Yeah, he is. I've actually talked to him on Skype, and like even off stream, he's still the same guy. Like he doesn't front very much, I feel. He's a good guy. Yeah, I feel like that's. I think the character that you're seeing on stream is very much himself.
So he's yelling only with me.
But yeah, I have right now playing an episode that's probably one of the most memorable as far as like that's good at showcasing. Like it's like a 30-minute episode. Vin Diesel, I don't know if you guys knew this. Vin Diesel loves to play Dungeons and Dragons. Like I never knew that. I'm like, wait, what? But it's cool. This episode, it's a 30-minute episode with Vin Diesel. They're just doing like it's called a one-shot campaign, which is just like exactly what it is. It's a one-shot. So like you make a character, you go and do like maybe one quest. It can take anywhere between like 30 minutes to a couple hours, and you just play that through. Once you complete it, you're done. Like there's no like overgrowing story as you just play. So there's like a designated story. And this episode, it's cool. I mean, you're just. I don't know, to see a character like Vin Diesel, I don't think of him as a role-playing character at all, considering the roles he plays in movies. But then it just goes to showcase that like anybody can become, or anybody can do whatever they want to do. Like you get this big buffy burly dude, or not burly, but action-packed filter or movie maker, and then you've got him playing Dungeons and Dragons. This is cool.
Look at Joshi, dude. Joshi's massive and is a very good PoE player, and he's a weeb as well. He's just massive. He's just.
I'll post both of those in chat so you guys have it.
Streamers physique.
Streamer physique competition. Yeah, I'm gonna be on the bottom of that.
Yeah, and if you guys are ever interested in doing it, I'll post all the links that I have here. But
yeah, I'll check that out. Like, it looks like good quality and stuff.
Like the pen and paper or Path of Paper, which is like the pen and paper version of Path of Exile. I don't know if you guys are into role playing or whatever, but if you guys are, he has this this doc that's he's been updating over the past. I want to say it's 97th version of it, because I'm guessing that's how he's doing it. But like I said, it's been years and years of his work, and after watching it, it feels pretty well played out. Like he's done a lot of beta testing, and it's still in alpha rather, but he's done alpha testing. And from what I can gather, things are still being tuned to an extent. But I don't know, it'd be definitely something to maybe try out with friends that maybe have never played Dungeons and Dragons, but they have played Path of Exile, and maybe they've shown interest in playing Dungeons and Dragons, but they were on the fence. This would be a good way to bring them into the genre. I think would be pretty cool.
Like the way you sell it, like when I read about pen and paper, like there's no, I read it, just I'm immune to it. Just hey, it's not interesting. But the way you talk about it, Pelio, I want to play it now. You talk about it with such passion. I'm like, oh, I might give this thing a try.
Yeah, it's just you have to have the right group. I have
Yeah,
played
exactly.
I have played games where I'm just like, kill me. Like you have to have the right group. It's just hard. Like you can't play once and go, yeah, this isn't for me. It really has to be. It has to be the right group. I don't know how else to explain it. Like if you go to play the game, and you're just like, man, that guy is annoying, or that guy, like, I've played in groups where, like, maybe there was a good paladin and a maybe evil warlock, and the warlock's not even really doing anything like to provoke the paladin, but the paladin will just start like questioning the warlock and everything he does, and then you've got the rule Nazis where, like, if I overrule something as the dungeon master, that's it. The guides that they give you, they're nothing but guides. There's the player's handbook, which is just a guide. There's the dungeon master's guide. They're guides. In the end, the dungeon master has the final say. And if you don't like it, then you can talk to him after the play session. Be like, hey, I don't really like how you ruled that. Can we maybe work something out? And you work something out with that player. But, like, as far as, you know, being able to jump into one game and trying it out, that group may not just be for you. It may not be for you, action role play or role playing in general. But I do think that with the right group, probably with friends, because you're more apt to be open and role play it out, and then having a good dungeon master, one that isn't strict.
I can't.
Yeah. I've definitely had a different range of dungeon masters. I've played in a couple of different groups, and I mean, I might be a little biased, but I think I'm the best out of all of them. Even though the one guy has been playing for like 25 years, I feel like at a certain point, you know, you have your specific way that you DM, and that never changes. I think with me, what makes me different is that I take pointers from all the DMs that I've been under, and I take pointers from like Matt Mercer. He's the DM from Critical Role that I was talking about. He does these like little mini series called DM tips or player tips, and you kind of like, those guys have the experience that you want to absorb and actually take note of. You can't just think that you're the best at everything. You always can learn. But either way, this isn't a podcast about Dungeons and Dragons. I just wanted to bring up the Path of Paper, because it's back. There is another episode. I think they just released the most recent episode. I'm pretty sure it was episode 4. If you go to... I thought they're 4. I thought Ziggy D
3.
just posted the 4th one. Okay, well, they're on episode 3, and the 4th one's coming soon, probably. Because I remember Angry said that his health is back. All right, the next topic.
Community questions.
Yeah, it's the community questions, but I did want to real quick mention something that I saw on Reddit, and we're a little unsure of the details, but I did want to just mention it because it was posted by a GGG member, and didn't really see a link to the podcast or anything, but apparently, judging by this post, a group of devs from PoE, potentially, like I said, it's kind of worded interestingly. Blake GGG posted this, says, hey everyone, some of you might already know that a few of us devs have a small video game podcast called The Front Seat Gamer. I had never heard of that, but it's cool having like people from the inside that can talk about whatever. I'm guessing they probably don't even talk about Path of Exile that much, but
I don't think they're devs, actually.
next week, they're doing an episode with Chris H. And Chris H., from Chris Wilson's post, is a user interface programmer for Xbox. So if you guys have questions for that, I can link the post and shoot a question to him. If you guys are interested in the Xbox and interested how the UI is made or any of the such, then I would check the post out and maybe even give the podcast a whirl. And hair like Shia LaBeouf. So yeah, I'll post this here. So then like I said, we'll move on to the community questions section. So this section here is designed for you guys. Anybody in chat, if you guys have any questions for anybody on the stream, for myself, Dicey, Somayd, or GamerForLife, feel free to post them in chat or on the Reddit post that I posted earlier. And then I'll check the post and you guys can talk about whatever. If there's anything else you guys that we didn't talk about, if you guys want to chat about that now, we can. As far as questions, we don't really have much on the Reddit post. Besides wanting me to do a countdown, which makes sense.
Yeah. In fact, I missed the time actually. I was here 1 hour earlier.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely am gonna do. There's like a world clock timer that you can put together, I guess, and I put it in my time, and then I just put the link, and it picks your location, and it knows what time zone you're in, and it converts whatever I put it as. It converts it to your time zone, and I think that's what I'll do. It'll make it a lot easier. So there's no. I'm pretty sure a couple of the people that come in, they come in like an hour in, and I see them in chat, and they're just like, when are you guys starting? It's like we started an hour ago.
It was pretty confusing, yeah.
Sorry. Time zones in general, like I mean, I think we should just use UTC for everywhere, but whatever, or GMT,
Well,
either one.
I had time to talk to Somayd for an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
And that
definitely.
Yeah, that was a punishment, dude.
Wow.
Dude.
Just keep talking about frogs, snails, croissant, foie gras, le Tour Eiffel.
That's good stuff right here.
Yes, indeed it is.
So
I'm just
Samya,
kidding,
we
of course.
apparently we need you to talk about your nuts. So how can viewers come into your stream and get some of your nuts?
It's a bot called Revlo, so that you can add to your. Like it's pretty common. You can add to your channel to track loyalty. So you make sure the viewers, even if they're not numerous, are loyal. And I decided to go with the nut currency because it's actually very simple. When I first, like my first 4 months of streaming, I think I have an average of 12 hours of stream a day, with no break, not a single day off, like the first 4 months. And like those first 4 months, I lost like 13 kilograms, something like that. Now I took back some weight because I actually eat now. And the only thing I would do, because my car broke and instead of in the forest, I needed to walk like 2 kilometers to get some food. And nuts were like the richest and more calorie dense for the weight ratio. So I would just every time just grab a bag of nuts, like a bag of nuts, and just munch on it during the stream, and just develop from here. So, for example, my Discords, people are nutcrackers, and every time there is something funny going on, I just give away nuts to people that they can gamble, just some kind of currency. And they love their nuts. They love munching on my nuts. They love that.
I see nothing wrong.
I didn't do nothing.
God damn it.
I'm so bad.
So one of the good questions that I see in chat we see here is how do you guys feel about the longevity of PoE? Do you guys think you'll play to the end?
Does it
Well,
end?
Exactly.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I was thinking that this kind of game,
Unless World War III break out and
there really is no end.
destroys New Zealand.
I mean, you could say level 100 is the end, but you can still keep playing.
Nah.
There's no credits that roll. There's nothing to stop you from playing more.
The GGG got the credits that used to roll after killing Dominus. Because
Yeah, people thought
it
the game was
the
over.
game. Like,
With
"You go
Kriparian.
later."
With Kriparian
Not
in the
even
credits.
close. But yeah, I think that the only way that I would stop playing Path of Exile is if something else better came along.
Whoa. How dare you?
Like I did play Grim Dawn for about, I want to say 300 to 400 hours when it first came out, when it was still like in pre-release, and that game was really, really good. And it's funny because I may have just been burnt out of Path of Exile at the time, but I remember going from Path of Exile to Grim Dawn and going, Grim Dawn is so good, it has so many useful things, and it does. It's got like an auto sort filter, or an auto sort feature for your bags. You just click it and it like sorts everything in your bags in like a very nice way. It's got an abundance of bag space. Like, oh god, it's got like 5 backpacks, a main inventory spot. The items don't take up like fucking your entire inventory. Like one two-handed mace doesn't take up, a fifth of your inventory, so that's great.
The components auto stack.
Yeah, the auto stack. Oh, yeah. Literally, like, if GGG added that alone, it would make things like orgasmic. Just like auto sort features. Just hit the button and it like sorts it in a certain way, and you hit it again and it sorts it in a different way. It was such a great feature. But at the same time, as I played and played and played, max level was level 85. It was pretty easy to get max level. It wasn't incredibly difficult. So that was kind of one of those things where after a while, you're kind of like, well, I get to max level, I get the character geared. Now what? Now what do I do? So there was a point where there was burnout that happened, and then I remember going from Grim Dawn, which is a slower paced action RPG. I remember going from Grim Dawn back to Path of Exile and going, "Oh my god, I missed this!" Just the movement skills and the speed that you can obtain. Like I don't even go like as fast as a lot of the streamers do for like Vol Fireball and Vol Haste or Vol Spark and stuff. I do like to move at a good pace though, and Grim Dawn, you just run everywhere.
Also, Grim Dawn puts too many caps. I mean, there is a 200% attack speed cap on Grim Dawn, and that's something that shouldn't exist at all,
Well,
in my opinion.
I mean, theoretically, the game is moddable, which is kind of cool. They do support mods. It is an online game as well, so it's kind of like one of those things where think of like Diablo 1 when like it kind of it's like stopped being supported and everybody was like modding everything and like breaking the game. You can do that with Grim Dawn, but it does ruin your player experience quite a bit. The mods are not very fleshed over, and I don't know. It was a good game, but not as good as Path of Exile by any means. But there are some cool things that definitely could be ported from Grim Dawn into Path of Exile, and Path of Exile would then be like astronomically better. And same thing, vice versa. Then you can grab the soulbound aspect from Diablo 3, then it'd make the Path of Exile great. No more trading. You don't have to worry about the pains of trading. Oh my god, it was so good. Just kidding.
One thing that, as always, I have controversial opinions. I once said this that I'm going to tell you, and I got chewed alive. Question: why would you not want to pick up currency?
Because
which currency?
Any currency.
I don't pick up Portal Scrolls, Wisdom Scrolls, Transmutation Orbs, Augments. I think that like the least that I pick up is Alterations.
Would you support an auto pickup mod?
Nope.
The only way I would support that is if it was a gem, a golem, and the golem was like Enlighten, or it took as long as Enlighten or Empower. Any of those gems, it took that long to level those up, and he can only pick up like 5 items that you pick. So I would have this golem where he only picks up Wisdom Scrolls, Portal Scrolls, Transmutation Orbs, Augs, and whatever. Everything I don't want to pick up. Everything that drops in an abundance. Or scrap that completely and don't have that in the game. And what I would like is a pickup system similar to Diablo 3, where if you pick up one item, it picks up everything of that item in a radius, like a small radius, whatever. So like instead of having to pick up a shit ton of Portal Scrolls, you pick you pick up a group of Portal Scrolls at once. And it just
That's actually a better idea. Yes.
It'll just speed everything up because I don't even see them. They're not even on my filter. I don't see Portal Scrolls or any of the ones that I mentioned. I don't see any of them. I'm not gonna pick them up.
I'd be against that kind of thing. There's I call everything that I don't pick up shekels, and there are a lot of shekels in this game now.
Even chaos at this point are almost
there are
shekels.
People that pick up shekels. There are people that we need the shekel picker-uppers. Like, that person has a place. They're usually new players that don't know any better, you know, and without them, like, if they just go away, then damn, we got to go pick up those things, or we got to pay dumb prices for them. And then it becomes worth picking them up again. Like, there's a balance to it.
It's actually a good point. It's actually a good point, yeah.
But we don't need those people to pick up shekels if we can just group pick up things.
So that's the point, is it affects the economy. The entire economy is affected by it.
I feel like knowing stuff about this game and learning how to, identify value of stuff and apply like a time ratio to this value is what makes the difference between somebody who's going to be able to invest, a large amount of time and somebody who just stumble upon the game. And the idea is like the more knowledge you have, you still want those players with knowledge and time spent in this game to have an edge, because you're not going to keep them, And as Dicey said, like if you remove all those shackles, then everybody's like on the same playing field, even with a very different time investment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do toll breaches, full party toll breach carries on my my Magic Finder, and it's kind of funny to me, and it makes sense in this scenario to pick up shekels because you're not really doing much. You're only supposed to be picking up things that I don't pick up, so you're getting like the leftovers. So like at the end of these long breach run things that I do, like I'll do like 30, 40, sometimes 100 breach stones in a row. And then there's like some people that are there for like the whole time. They'll link like how many portal scrolls and wisdom scrolls and transmutation orbs that they've picked up. Like it's in the thousands. There's so many things that drop in breach like that, especially when you have a character that's in full quantity gear like I am, 141% quantity. There's going to be a lot of those, and like it's just funny that that's the kind of time where you would pick things up like that, when you're like kind of gated behind having to wait for the person to clear the breach. But like if you're like clearing strands, there's no fucking way I'm going to pick up every portal scroll and every wisdom scroll or any. I'm not going to pick up one.
Yep.
I'll use the portal gem for portal scrolls, and then I'll just buy transmutation orbs and vendor them to the vendor, get thousands of wisdom scrolls, and then live off that stack for however long it takes. And then I'll do the same thing, spend 10 chaos, get 800 trans orbs, sell those, and get 3,200 wisdom scrolls.
Yeah, I still do it with portal scrolls because I'm too like I can't stand the portal gem. Like
Yeah, when you have a character that has fast casting speed, it's not bad at all. You don't have to open up your inventory at the end of every map. You just click a button. Easy.
Like literally, I drop in the portal scroll and just not use it and still open my fucking thing. Be like, hey, where's my portal scrolls?
I've done that before. I've been using my portal scrolls while having a portal gem activated, and to the point where I had to remove my portal scrolls from my inventory, so I stopped doing that, and it worked. Eventually, you know, good old muscle memory.
Well, I think that's about it, huh?
Yeah. I mean, the only other questions I see that's pretty important is Somad, what kind of hair products do you use?
Yeah, what kind of hair product do you use, huh?
Argan oil, like every
Oh, argan oil.
every day pretty much. I have like dry hair. It's dry, and also like I used to be like an interior designer, and I would do like the work myself, construction myself, like paint, coating, everything. I would do it myself. So I would have my hair like dirty every day. I like to shower them every day, and it was like a learning process to know how to not, wash my hair when I shower and discover all those products. And argan oil is pretty fucking fantastic. So yeah, it became an habit. Just smells good, look good, everything.
Awesome. I think that's the best question to close out the podcast, we'll say.
Wow. You're so cool, Somayd. Please teach me how to become like you.
Teach me how to have long flowing Shia LaBeouf locks.
Oh, God.
Wow.
I can smell your hands from here.
All right, guys. Well, that'll be the end of the podcast. Thank you, Somayd and GamerForLife, for joining us for today's podcast.
My pleasure.
Thanks, dude.
If you guys haven't, in the chat, if you guys haven't get a chance to watch the whole video, feel free to check out the Reddit post. I'll have it video uploaded in the next hour or two, and then you can watch the whole episode there. And thanks for the people that are watching on YouTube. Don't shy away from checking out Somayd's stream, GamerForLife's videos. He does a bunch of compilations that were played throughout the podcast, and he does them daily, every day.
Absolutely.
Make sure to share those videos, share this video, subscribe, and thanks Dicey for co-hosting. Polab was having a mental breakdown, so he couldn't really do it today. So I thank y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.